Good morning, Macon, Georgia, and everyone else around the world through the World Wide Web. This is.
You look like a Sephardic rabbi.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
This is the morning roast. Hi, on Flippin' Friday.
Yes.
L'chaim.
Good morning, Plaza Canvas. Good morning, Andrew Mampa.
Good morning. It's June 7th, 2013. It's Flippin' Friday.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
What's the typical weather like today? It feels like we're not out of the
It's
rain
hot.
as of yet.
That's what it means. It's hot. The weather right now, at least, it's 72 degrees, 70.2 degrees Fahrenheit, 21.2 degrees centigrade. But it feels like 70.2. 100% humidity, clear and sunny. It's which means 100% humidity. That means we're gonna have a lot of rain, which more likely we will because we're still in the
Andrea. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there's a flood watch for Lawrence County and other surrounding counties, especially on the coast, the Georgia coast, and will continue for the rest of this weekend. It's at least according to my desktop, it's 68 degrees. Wow. Okay.
It's not so bad. The weather was a lot darker. Now I look and I see blue.
Yeah.
I see blue skies and sunshine.
Yeah, it's actually sunny for right now. Who would
So
thought?
maybe we're clearing up.
Yeah, we're clearing up. Then we may have some later showers for tonight. It's at least from right now, it's 68 and sunny with a high of 86 and a low of 68. Saturday is going to be somewhat sunny with a high of 87 and a low of 70, but the rest of the weekend, Sunday and the early part of the weekend, is going to be all wet and wild.
Yes. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I know that down in Florida, I was just tapping in with my brother, and the waning Andrea is to soak the East Coast. So Tropical Storm Andrea is expected to drench the East Coast Friday as the strength weakens. Parts of 13 states are under flood watch warning.
Wow.
So it's a lot of water.
Yes, a whole
Seems
lot
like,
of water.
it seems like we ought to start that story. It says, Tropical Storm Andrea is expected to drench the East Coast with heavy rains Friday. As the strength weakens, a broader swath of the East Coast, including parts of 13 states from Georgia to Maine, is under flood watches. Flood watch warnings extended from Florida through coastal communities north of Virginia. The warning means a sudden deluge of rain could overwhelm sewers and cause rivers and creeks to overrun their banks through the weekend. So, up to 3 inches of rain by the time the weekend is done. That's a lot of rain.
Yeah, a whole lot of rain. I mean, you said to yourself, at least from the weather report, that the Central Georgia, at least Macon, will get up to almost, a little over 8 inches of rain?
A little over 8 inches.
Wow.
Well, look, we have that Okmulgee
Okmulgee.
Yeah, we got that river that looks like a creek.
Yes.
I bet it looks like a river now.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I wouldn't go boating there anytime
Those
soon.
muddy waters of Okmulgee.
Yes.
But what the hell? We need the rain, especially here. It's going to be a hot summer.
Very hot
from
summer.
what I hear.
And so far, a very wet summer, which is very good compared to last year. We had a very dry summer. It was, matter of fact, one of the hottest summers we had in the history of Georgia, actually, in Macon. As a matter of fact, we were in the middle of a drought. We were like minus 12 inches as far as rainfall was concerned. Less than that. Now we have practically a surplus now. No doubt about it.
Well,
Thirsty?
it's all good.
Yeah, definitely now.
No, take
Surplus
away
of
your
water.
brothers.
Yeah.
You end up with a baby like Honey Boo Boo.
Yes.
Good morning, guest 16. We're not going to disable the guests, are we?
No, I ain't able to get it.
Yeah, we haven't done that.
No, I only did for like 5 minutes yesterday just to get rid of idiots.
Yeah.
I figured
Yes.
out how to figure out who they are.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, it's always good to have those who are anonymously anonymous.
Right.
I mean, you want a couple of layers of anonymity, that's fine with me. As long as you're not just a troll.
Right.
I
Trolling.
exterminate trolls.
Yeah.
Yes.
So welcome all. Again, we got some other news. Besides the weather, I want to talk a little bit about this guy that basically came out as he was a Navy SEAL.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to kind of, what do you think about this story? We have a former Navy SEAL comes out as a transgender.
Oh yeah, I talked about that.
Yeah, we
last
talked
week.
briefly about that yesterday, but I just got to look at his videos,
Mm-hmm.
and basically he says, that he wanted life, liberty, and then the only thing that was missing out of his life that he fought for 20 years was the pursuit of happiness.
Yes.
And you think about it. This guy, he won Purple Heart. He won this and that. I mean, he was a good warrior. He was a SEAL, which is like
The best of the
the
best.
best of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got an addiction to fudge.
And he also, for whatever reason, besides the fact that he probably would have been killed by some guy in that group or allowed to be killed, he respected his comrades or his compatriots
Yes.
for 20 years. That's a long time. And now some of
Nobody
them
didn't know about it.
no one knew about it. I mean, he hit it very well. And now, basically, he wrote a book called Warrior Princess, a U.S. Navy SEAL's journey to coming out transgender. After years of spent fighting in some of the world's worst wars, former U.S. Navy SEAL Christian Beck says she knows what she wants. I want to have my life, she told CNN AC 360. Exclusive Thursday night. I fought for 20 years. Liberty in pursuit of happiness. I want some happiness. Beck recently came out as a transgender. She wrote about the experience in a book, A Warrior Princess, a U.S. Navy SEAL journey to coming out transgender. It chronicles her life as a young boy and man known then as Chris Beck. Beck deployed 13 times, serving in such places as Bosnia, Afghanistan, and Iraq. She earned a Bronze Star and a Purple Heart along the way. Though she felt trapped in the wrong body since grade school, Beck didn't come out until after she left the military in 2011. Doing so early would have been too big a risk. Transgender men and women are banned from service. That's a chance that if I took, I might be dead today, she said. There is a lot of prejudice out there, and there's been a lot of transgender people who were killed for prejudice, for hatred. When the book came out, some amazing support and some amazing praises, but also some pretty amazing bigotry and hatred. Just ask the people in Cheerios how bad that is.
Yeah.
Beck says she
no
doesn't
doubt.
need people to love or even like her. But I don't want you to beat me up or kill me. You don't have to like me. I don't care. But please don't kill me. What do you think of that?
Well, actually, I don't think people should just come and try to say, I mean, first of all, I don't see anyone who try to start a fight with a Navy SEAL. That SEAL is trained to kill, no matter how he or she now has gone through. I wouldn't pick a fight. I mean, that's your butt whipping. That's your butt that's going to be served on a platter. I'm just saying.
Yeah. My brother says she was a model for freedom. You're right. I mean, this. If you look at the pictures of when he was known as Chris Beck, he looks like a man's man. Now he's
a man's woman.
Yeah, man. Hey, what the hell?
Yeah.
Guess that. So, what does this Navy SEAL want? Had she transitioned earlier, she never would have been a SEAL. Sorry, but it takes too much testosterone. Sounds like this SEAL is being a bitchy cunt. Well, why don't you go to CNN.com and take a look at the tapes, and it'll answer some of your questions.
Right.
I'm not here to judge either way. I'm just saying, putting it out there. For me, it's like, look, this person earned their freedom.
Yeah.
They worked for 20 years as a SEAL.
Yes.
Did a stellar service for the United States government.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, it deserves the respect and the honor that it fought for, unlike a lot of us.
Yes. Yes. I
who
mean,
haven't done shit for our country except, be always what I call a spectator.
yeah.
This guy was a player.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. Being a Navy SEAL, you said won the Purple Heart, which meant that she gotten shot, was injured, received a war wound in serving the country. I mean, could have easily and like I said, he's a Navy SEAL. I mean, he's not 4-H. He wasn't selling no Girl Scout cookies. He was there, kicking butt and taking names.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And he obviously won a Purple Heart because he did something to.
And got hurt.
He got hurt, but he may have helped some others. I didn't get that out of the tape, but once again, I mean, this is a man's man who was out there, served 20 years before he retired.
Yeah.
That's a long time. That's probably
Very
half
long
his
time.
life.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like
It
he's
is.
in his 40s.
Yeah, it is. It is practically half his life. I had a friend of mine, one of my classmates, track teammates, like I said, Staff Sergeant David Henry. He just retired in the Air Force. He just after serving 24 years there. So he spent probably half his life.
Right.
Well, a little over half his life, because he's a year younger than I am. He's
What's the point of the story, guess, is to rile up guys like you to speak out and say what the hell you want to say. So, like the guy said, you don't have to like him,
I wouldn't pick fights with him.
just at least acknowledge the fact that he was a good soldier.
Yeah, just say, hey, how you doing? Thanks.
Good morning,
thanks
Cal
for your service.
3000.
Yeah.
And anyway, so he's not hiding behind two. Good morning, Miss Bean. He's not hiding behind two anonymous like you as a guest. Why don't you come out like the rest of these folks here and be a man or a woman and come out of the darkness of your guest thing, and maybe I'll address you a little bit more. Hey, Jay, good morning. Anyway, so that's it. I mean, basically, I just wanted to talk about, acceptance. This guy has earned it. And as far as I'm concerned, if he wants to do whatever he wants to do, God bless him, and good luck.
Yes, I have some story. Yeah, I'm glad you got to this story, because I really do have something, a really weird story. As a matter of fact, local, state story, I should say. Georgia bans license plates with guns, sex, and hate. This is from Atlanta. Georgia has unveiled new rules banning references to guns, drugs, and alcohol on personalized license plates. The new rules, which won't become final until after July 9th, also ban profanity, any references to sex, items subject to trademark or copyright, references to crimes, and all variations of the word hate.
Yes.
The Atlanta Journal-Constitution reports that the rules were developed after a lawsuit by a motorist. James Cyrus Gilbert had requested a tag spelling out "gay guy" (Gaygy), which was denied under the old rules. The new emergency rules are supposed to clarify things. However, state officials on Wednesday would not address specific examples of words that would pass or fail under the new rules.
Yeah.
The rules also ban slurs on religious beliefs or beings, race, ethnicity, gender, or sexual orientation. So that's going to be a new law that may be coming into effect next month. So
there you go.
I guess it's probably a good thing. I mean, because people don't want to read that type of stuff when you're driving a car.
Yeah, really. I mean, whatever. It's just like as annoying as a bumper sticker.
They always have, don't like what I'm driving, dial 1-800-EAT shit, something like that.
Oh, those are good, actually. I've used those. If you see this truck, especially with the trucks, they put that, if I'm reckless driving, and I've seen trucks. Just here, we got the sign that to the subdivision has been crushed by a city truck. So, good morning, T.L. Wilson. Let's say hello to our chatters.
Okay.
One down the line here.
We'll go ahead and do
All
that.
right. Good morning to Edwin Mampa. We got the Bean on. We got Plastic Canvas. Good morning, T.L. Wilson. Hey J31, Nick Cal 3000, and our guest number 16. Good morning, all.
Good morning, everyone.
Thanks for stopping in.
That's great to know.
We got a lot of stuff going on in Central Georgia, as
yes.
usually and as always.
I have some good news too.
Good.
People say we don't have enough good news. Here's some good news for you, especially if you're low on cash. AT&T to fill more than 1,000 positions in Georgia.
That's great.
Says AT&T has announced it will create about 600 new jobs in the state and plans to hire workers to fill more than 1,000 positions overall. Governor Nathan Deal announced yesterday that AT&T plans to immediately hire full and part-time workers in network construction, maintenance, customer support, retail, and other positions. Deal says many of the positions are the result of Project Velocity IP 14 and expands service to more than 1 million businessmen, more than 1 million too, especially what's going on with the Verizon services.
Yeah. Oh, by the way.
Yeah, they can really hear you now.
And that's a good story to bring up. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes.
You know, and now you have some of the most liberal people defending that, saying, Feinstein out in California saying, oh, we need to do it, and that they've been basically putting in all the calls that we make, every single phone, it's not just Verizon.
Yeah.
Although Verizon is a big player in all this.
Right.
It's not just Verizon. And they're logging in, basically putting it in on a master computer, and they say there's no names attached. They're only phone numbers. But what they want to do is cross-reference the numbers that they already have of so-called known terrorists outside the United States,
Right.
and they want to be able to kind of, connect the dots and see who's from here calling over there or over there calling what numbers here.
Yeah.
And, this is what happened after 9/11.
Yes.
And so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Speaking of electronics, I want to give out to the people over in our neck of the woods in Macon, Georgia, Central Georgia, and surrounding counties. There's going to be a free electronics recycling area, which is brought to us by LG Electronics, Macon Habitat for Humanity, keep Macon beautiful, and Vintage Tech Recyclers. It says that if you have any old electronics taking up space at your home, and the following items are accepted for free are old computers, laptops, monitors, LCDs, cell phones, printers, scanners, modems, CD drives, cables, keyboards, mice, televisions, VCRs, DVD players, camcorders, cameras, game players, and joysticks, telephones, pagers, answering machines, typewriters, calculators, adding machines, fax machines, and copies.
Just send it all.
Yeah, just send it all. It's going to be the place where you can recycle them. It's going to be at the Macon Area Habitat for Humanity. That's 690 Holt Avenue in Macon, Georgia, 31204. It's going to be held tomorrow on Saturday, for June 8th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
What are they going to do with that stuff?
Well, basically just to recycle them, and so be able to, I guess, because they're all made from Colton and plastics, what have you, make it into much more other devices.
Okay, well that's good.
Yes, just so those who have old cell phones or what have you, or printers that obsolete, just take them to the recycling center over at Habitat for Humanity at 690 Holt Avenue, and maybe you'll get some clutter out your house.
Yeah. So anyway, I know what I did when I was living up in Lilburn is I sent my old phones. I had so many different. I was just getting used to the idea of having a cell phone because I didn't really want one for years. And so I started trying out like T-Mobile and even Verizon. I did Metro PCS, and then I was upgrading. So I had all these phones. Plus, I was being given phones because I was sending them to the troops. There was a time when the military needed some phones for some of their guys, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I would send boxes of phone to the military. I'm not sure if they're still doing that, but
That's true.
anyway. So what else is in the news? I got remember that whole thing with the
Board of
Bibb
Education?
County merging the two schools.
Yes, yes.
And the idea was pretty bad.
yeah, they're
they
having
were-
that's an update.
Yeah, this is an
Follow-
update on that story where they're
Okay.
going to separate this one school, and because the way the lines are now drawn for consolidation,
Wow.
parts of Jones County is no longer in Bibb County. Is that? I
Go
don't.
figure. Go figure.
Go figure. But a day after concerned parents voiced their opposition to merging of Jones and King Danforth elementary schools, it appears that concerns were heard. It's about time. It's about time. After our hearing last night, I don't think it's the right thing to do to rush this thing. To make a decision before we give Dr. Smith opportunity to look at this budget and perhaps find some additional cuts that we can make before we make such a drastic decision that's going to affect these students' lives over the next year. You know what? I mean, and that's the thing. The reason why this
That's
happened...
Lester Miller from Bibb Board of Education.
Yeah, he's a superintendent. He says he plans to do just that, and will continue to look for new ways to cut the budget. The Now Shall proposal means Agnes Barden Elementary and Burghardt will stay open as well. The board also tentatively approved the budget, which does not include the closing or merging of any schools, but the board members say they will take a close look at realigning Bibb County schools during the next budget cycle. See, here's the thing. The reason why this happened was because the parents finally got involved.
Right.
And you see the power of what we talk about a
Yes.
lot, that the parents need to stay engaged in their kids' lives. And if they stay engaged, they can make things happen.
Yes, make things move. Exactly.
And so there's proof. The proof is in the pudding.
There you go.
So
There you go. Yes.
by the time we got some progress around here, the people are being heard.
Yeah, about time too. Also had some news. This is from Perry, surrounding county, somewhat local. Bond denied for woman accused of running son over. In Perry, Georgia, bond has been denied for a woman accused of hitting son with her car after shoplifting. Houston County Superior Judge Edward Lukemire said Thursday that Archibia Albury had a habit of missing court dates and was too close to potential witnesses to be released from jail. Police says Albury was fleeing a loss prevention officer at a Belk store in Centerville last month when her son was run over. Assistant District Attorney Greg Winters said the boy suffered brain swelling, a fractured skull, and cracked ribs. He says the boy may be taken off of life support Friday. Wow. Defense attorney Larry Fauch says Albury needs to be with her son and was named by county officials as a Head Start Parent of the Year in April. Wow.
Wow.
That's really...
I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up right there.
What a
Yes.
life. What do you think? She's going to be put in jail for a while, no?
Oh yes, and maybe even for vehicular
what-
homicide if her child dies.
Yeah, and it could be first-degree homicide.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's intentional.
Yeah, it was intentional, even though it was accidental. But she was trying to get away, and I don't know how you accidentally run over your own son when you're trying to rob, a store, which is, just totally careless,
Wow.
careless. On
Well, that's what happened with the bomber. Remember with the Boston bomber, his brother ran him over.
Yeah.
Freaking out, they're running away. They run him over.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the coroner, remember that story about the guy who jumped over the wall and he fell like 40 feet?
Yeah.
He didn't realize that he was scaling a fence that led to a drop-off of about 40
drop,
feet.
Yeah, 40 feet drop.
Well,
yeah.
they finally identified him. Authorities releases the identity of the Macon fatal fall victim, and the autopsy is still pending. Why do they need to do an autopsy? I mean, really, that's more money spent. The guy fell and he died. How much more do you need to know? Well, anyway, authorities have released the identity of the man who fell 40 feet to his death while fleeing the police. Deputy Coroner Lonnie Miley said the deceased is a 32-year-old Joseph Clark Jr. of Warner Robins. So it's not even from Macon. What he was doing here is beyond me. On Wednesday morning, Macon police were patrolling buildings in the Presidential Parkway Shopping Center when they noticed two men parked behind one of the closed buildings. Officers used pepper spray on one man after they both became combative. Clark ran from the scene, scaled the fence behind the building, and jumped over it. According to the news release, the officer knew of a large drop-off behind the fence and shouted a warning to Clark not to jump. They later found him at the bottom of the drop-off. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Miley said Clark's autopsy is still pending. Well, I've got a couple of questions here. One of them is, if these two guys were sitting in a car, okay, they were probably just doing something that maybe
They weren't supposed to
We
be.
weren't supposed to be doing.
yeah,
At least
who
not in
knows?
a public place.
In a public place. But my question is, when the police approached him, how did they approach him? Why did they become combative? There's a lot of loose ends in this story,
Yeah.
and we need to find out a little bit more about what happened. I mean, they're giving just a glance over. These two men were there; they shouldn't have been there. The police chased him, and he falls to his death. Well, what exactly were these two men doing?
Right.
And why did the police, besides the fact that they shouldn't be there, why did it have to come to this? How did it get out of hand like this? Why did they become combative? So I'd like to know the story behind the story.
Very true. Very true.
The story behind
Anyway.
The story, yes.
So there's a story behind the story that is not being told.
Yes.
And when it involves the Macon police,
That's beautiful. What is this, velvet? Anyway.
it's actually...
Hey, you got a bagel. I need a bagel.
Yeah. Well, I'm just a little bit concerned about when it comes to Macon Police Department, how their stories line up.
Right.
And so I think these are going to be stories that I'm going to be bringing up when I meet with the sheriff on Monday.
Right.
I'm going to ask him, do you know anything about this? Why did this guy, why did they, and how did they become combative? What's the story behind this? Anyway, moving on. What do we got?
Yes, there's in local news, a homeless man was charged in the death of a fellow squatter. It says a homeless Macon man is facing involuntary manslaughter charges after police say he threw a fellow squatter off a loading dock in the abandoned warehouse the two called home. 68-year-old Charles Skipper was found dead on May 31st in building the two shared with a group of homeless people at Mulberry and 6th Street in Macon. 51-year-old Terry Kaysen was arrested after an autopsy revealed Skipper died of internal bleeding. A police report says Kaysen was seen throwing Skipper off a loading dock during an altercation the day before his body was found. The report says Skipper was seen alive around 1 a.m. on May 31st but collapsed on a concrete floor. Kaysen then dragged the man to his bed and seeing he was unconscious, called 911. So basically, he fell off and died from internal injuries, and he just laid on the man's bed and called 911 while he was basically falling away, wasting away.
Here we go. Another sad story.
Yeah.
Well, not much to comment on that story. Let's move on. We got Georgia Senator Saxby Chambliss defending the National Security Agency's phone surveillance, saying it's been going on for years and it has produced results. They claimed one incident where there was this backpack bomber ready to go into the subway system in New York,
Right.
with like 10 bombs, and that somehow they caught him during that time. But I don't know. CNN reports that Chambliss told them the program is worthwhile. By the way, Saxby Chambliss is one of the big senators here in Georgia.
Yes, that's
And
correct.
he's also retiring. But he's also a little bit of a, he was also voicing about the sexual rape and all that in the military.
Yes.
And he made an excuse for them that infuriated a lot of people.
Yes.
He said, you got to remember that some of these guys are 20 years old and that their testosterone and their sexual levels are very high. That's kind of very paraphrased, but that's what he meant. That's what he said in other words.
Okay.
And so kind of giving an excuse to the young military people that, look, your hormones are very high and, so it's expected. But the fact of the matter is that we're not talking about sex. We're talking about rape. We're talking about dominance. We're talking about stuff that obviously is not right. And it was already foreseen for many years when the women started joining the military. That was one of the jokes that was around, that people were saying, "Oh man, are you crazy?"
Well, that was the reason why people didn't want women in the military, especially in combat situations anyway, because things are going to happen. I mean, whether with their own fellow troops or with the enemy. And plus also, that's another reason why a lot of people didn't want women to work with men, particularly in submarines, especially in the Navy, because when you have that many people, especially both genders in close proximity to each other, in very secluded areas, whether on land or on water, like a submarine, things are bound to happen. It's not just hearsay. I mean, that's just pretty much cause and effect. When you jump off a cliff, it's not like Wile E. Coyote. You're going to keep going down, not up.
Here's the thing. I can understand somewhat. I can understand the atmosphere they're under. I mean, there's a lot of tension. There's a lot of stress.
A whole lot of tension.
And some of these folks just need a little bit of caressing and there was a time when a lot of military people were getting married. I mean, I was seeing that happening a lot, which I don't hear about as much. But to go around and beating and raping and doing that is a crime, no matter how you look at it.
No doubt about it. I'm not condoning it.
Right.
I mean, we had this one recently. This one one soldier was basically arrested for war crimes where he was shot and killed 16 civilians over in Afghanistan last year.
That's right. Yeah, he
truly happy.
And he didn't really even have an excuse. He said, I don't know why.
I just feel like shooting something.
Exactly. And of course they're going to throw in there he has post-traumatic stress disorder and all that. Look, I appreciate everything the military has done and is doing even right now. However, remember, it's a choice. You made the choice to go in there and serve your country, amen. But, you got to really round up your choices and figure out, this is going to be very tough on me. Can I handle it emotionally?
Yes.
And even look at your family history. How well do you get along with your family siblings? Now you're going to be basically obtaining a new family of a bunch of guys and women that you barely know.
But you're bonded through your basic training and boot camp that way. You're brothers and sisters in baptism by fire, so to speak. I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, I come from a military family. I mean, I'm the first Barrett in 100 years to actually not end up in the military. That's by some chance.
That's
of fate.
by your choice. I mean,
Yeah.
And it's a good one. I mean, not everybody. A lot of times, that's what happens. Family it goes down the line. They all think, oh, my father was in the military. I need to be in the military. No, you don't. It's a choice. And the thing is that, you know, with I would say the last 20 years has been really tough on our military, where they keep deploying and deploying and deploying. It seemed like it wouldn't end, you know, for some of them. And so, and I understand that a lot of the military, you know, they get homesick, they get lonely, and it's
especially with
tough life to live.
6 months, 12 months tour of duty, even 18, as far as some as 18 months. I mean, a year and a half. I mean, that's a long time. Just to be
and
without
perennially. I mean, 6 to 8 months is nothing compared to some of these folks. They're going 13, 14, 20 years, constantly going and being deployed and staying. You know, you have to give them credit for doing that. However, it is a choice.
Yes, if your family has a long history of, I don't know, maybe schizophrenia or something like that, and then you're armed to the teeth with weaponry, it may not be a good combination. You may want to reconsider not, you know, joining, you know, the military, because you may not be able to stay, and you know, people tend to flip out, you know, being there for that long, especially in places like Afghanistan, where you have intense heat. You know, sometimes even weather conditions could just make a person just snap.
Yeah, I mean, when it's not sunny, don't you feel a little bit more depressed than you would on a sunny day? The weather affects you.
Well, yeah. Well, whether it was raining, but I'm talking about heat. It's not like 85, you know, degrees here. I mean, it gets up to like 100, 110, 115.
No vegetation. It's all desert and dirt and dust.
Yeah.
So I certainly wouldn't. I thank God there are others suited for that.
Yes.
But everybody makes an impact in this country. I mean, everybody, whether the lowest, the guy that packs the bags at Publix, or you know, or us here on the show, whatever. Everybody has a purpose and an impact on this country, and no one should be held back.
Yeah, less than what I mean. Do what you. I mean, whether you're whether you're a veteran, a military person, or even a regular civilian, just do what you do and do it well.
Yeah.
Do it the best you can.
And the thing is, going back, we're talking to the guests here. I'm going to talk to them for a minute, because there's this argument back and forth about them not being allowed to have an opinion. You have an opinion, and certainly your opinion is respected. But once again, the only reason why you're able to be on the show is because we opened up the guest line. But we understand that there are others who want to come in and be a part of the show. But if your opinion is going to be argumentative between the chatters, and you're going to create this atmosphere of, you know, arguing back and forth with the other chatters who actually have a name attached to them, then I would just say move on. You know, if you don't like the show, you don't like the way we treat you, you can move on. That's your choice. But we're actually grateful and glad that you're here.
Yes.
But at the same time, you know, show a little respect towards each other.
Exactly.
That's all.
Like guest 480 says, it's a privilege, not a right. You know. Exactly. Matter of fact, I do have some breaking news, by the way.
Bring it on. Good morning, Uncle Salty.
Yes. There's a national lookout issued for a murder suspect last spotted in Bibb County. A national lookout has been issued for a man charged with 2 murders in Dodge County, according to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Special Agent Todd Lowry with the GBI's Eastman office says 38-year-old Nathaniel Cummings is charged with the murder and armed robbery of Greg Giddens and Jimmy Gay, both of Eastman, Georgia. Lowry says Giddens' body was found at his 6th Avenue home on the night of May 12th, while Gay was found near a group of dumpsters off of Harry Hargrove Road on May 31st. Few details are being released surrounding the murders. Lowry says he does not want to compromise the investigation by releasing the manner of death for either victim. One man has already been caught and charged with the murders, and Lowry says more people could be implicated with the crimes. 20-year-old Jeffrey Madison of Eastman was apprehended of Bibb County on Monday earlier this week, and has been charged with murder and armed robbery in the crimes. The Georgia State Patrol says both Cummings and Madison were spotted speeding northbound in a car on I-75 near mile marker 169. A state trooper pursued the two off the Riverside Drive exit 171 and right onto Sheraton Road. When they hit a dead end, both suspects ran from the car in different directions. The trooper was able to catch Madison, but Cummings got away. So
Wow.
be on the lookout for Mr. Cummings. He may be considered armed and
Mr.
dangerous.
Cummings gonna be Cummings for you.
Yes, very,
Lord.
so to speak.
Speaking of insanity,
Mm-hmm.
video footage from a Carnival cruise ship where a young couple went missing this week appears to show the woman jumping from the vessel and her panic-stricken boyfriend following moments later. Australia's Herald Sun. What's going on with these Carnival cruises? They're like the ship from hell.
Yeah,
Every
man.
time there's another story about these Carnival cruise lines.
No, it's been going on. You're just finding out about all this shit now. What do you think all this
I don't know.
They're finally getting caught. All these cops stealing shit. They're finally coming out of the woodwork.
Well, it's unbelievable. The news outlet citing local police says an enhancement of the security video from the Australia-based Carnival Spirit appears to show Paul Rossington, 30, jumping after his girlfriend, Kristen Schroeder, 27, after 20 seconds after she plunged from the ship. The couple went overboard late Wednesday as the Carnival Spirit was sailing off the coast of Australia, but no one realized they were missing until Thursday morning when the vessel docked in Sydney. A massive air and search off the waters of Australia coast began on Thursday and was called off. The couple is presumed dead. Wow, I don't know. I think that's why I would never go on a cruise ship. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
It just seems like...
I realized I wanted to go earlier, but now I really, after all this stuff, I probably should thank my lucky stars that I didn't go. Didn't go with my parents and my sister, because after all of this, is like how can you
Enjoy that.
enjoy it and consider them trustworthy, consider them safe.
It's like the boat from hell. Every time you get on there, what
Yeah.
spirit are they talking about?
I know. It's like you rather take a chance taking a cruise on the SS Minnow than get one of those Carnival cruises. I'm just saying.
It's just like it's worse. Well, I wouldn't say it's worse than Titanic, but it seems like, geez, man. Every time you turn around, there's another stupid thing happening on these Carnival cruise lines. And the other one the one that sunk near Italy, that kind of sunk sideways.
Yeah,
They're still
capsized,
working
man.
on that.
They're still working on that. They're still mad at the captain of losing his ship. Like, bump that. I ain't the Titanic. I'm out. Peace. Arrivederci. Yeah, like, I ain't going out like the captain.
Well,
Like, my goodness. Just save your money. Save your money and take the bus or something.
yeah, Costa something. Thank you, Bob's your uncle. No.
Costa Rica.
No, that's a country.
Oh, that's
it's
good.
called Costa Lines or some bullshit.
Some type
I
of
can't
line,
remember.
yeah.
Well, anyway, it's between them and the Carnival that it seems like every time you turn around, there's another problem with these ships.
Costa Concordia. Okay.
Costa Concordia. Thank you
that's
very
it.
much, Uncle
Thank you.
Salty. It seems like I said, every time.
Yeah.
And I have thought about going on a cruise ship. It's about $600 for paying for the ship, plus all the other shit that you got to pay for. $10 soda on board, I guess. $20 drink, and all you get is a little cubby. But I guess I'm never gonna go on a cruise ship, is what I'm trying to say.
I guess so.
I'm too scared. I'm serious. And you got some weird people on there.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Like I said, just probably better off just taking the bus and just save your money.
No.
Speaking of saving money,
Yeah, come on, bring that. I kind of like that.
yeah,
Yeah, we got the what you
the
tell
10 cheapest U.S. cities to live in.
Okay, remember this. If you want to get the hell out of your city, like I did, because it was too freaking expensive,
Yes.
this is a good way to go, folks.
Okay, here we go. If you're looking for affordable places to live, start and search search in a nice, cheap place to live, affordable place, I should say. Start your search in Texas and Arkansas.
Yeah.
5 of the 10 cheapest cities in the U.S. can be found in those 2 states alone. The rest of the cities are scattered across the nation's midsection as far west as Idaho to as far east as Tennessee, which may be a surprise to some. It says, according to Yahoo Finance, we compiled the list on the Council of Community and Economic Research calculations for living expenses in 307 urban areas. Its cost of living index measures prices for housing, groceries, utilities, transportation, healthcare, and miscellaneous goods and services, and basically screened out cities with populations below 50,000. And here are the 10 finalists, which in many ways are shared one overarching similarity: super affordable housing options for renters and homeowners alike. And the 10 cheapest places to live is number 10 is Idaho Falls, Idaho. The cost of living is 12% below average. City population is 57,646, about half the size of Macon, Georgia. Median household income is $45,990, and compared to the national U.S. level is $52,762. Median home value is $146,900 compared to $186,000. Not only do homeowners reap the benefits of modest real estate prices, but apartment renters can enjoy the same panoramic views for just $655 a month on average, just for the rent. Wow. It says nationwide typical rent for an apartment is $870. And potatoes are cheap. Yes, the potatoes are cheap in Idaho Falls, 26% cheaper than the national average. Wow, to be precise. Number 9 is Conway, Arkansas. The cost of living is
Why Arkansas? I mean, Arkansas is like a...
Yeah, I know, it's just above Louisiana.
Ugh.
You know, near the Gulf Coast.
Yeah,
like,
floodwaters.
Yeah, floodwaters, yes.
And water is cheap.
Yeah, that's why. That's probably so. City population is 60,000. Median income is $44,745. Median home value is $147,000. It's 30 miles north of Little Rock, but it's a world away when it comes to living costs. The city is nestled between Lake Conway and the Arkansas River, and everything from healthcare and to the utilities to housing is cheaper than Conway than the state capital. Wow.
Wow. Well, by the way, that's 11, I guess I'll call them. Mm-hmm. Well, 112 says Idaho Falls. Does Idaho have waterfalls? Well, maybe they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
They do.
It would, yeah.
Idaho is pretty mountainous.
Yeah.
Also, where the potatoes come from.
Oh, yeah. True.
Better potatoes.
Yeah, better potatoes, yeah. The number 8 cheapest place to live in the United States city is Springfield, Illinois.
Well, that's...
Yeah.
We're getting a little better.
Yeah, 12.3% below average. City population 117,000. Wow, that's almost like the size of Macon.
Well, Macon is bigger.
A little slight. Okay, just under.
Just slightly, yeah. That's
medium
not bad.
household income is 48,000. Medium home value is 114,000. Says,
not bad.
You know, Abraham Lincoln, the president who image graces the humble penny, slept in Springfield, a good omen of the Illinois capital's affordability. The medium home value falls an enviable 39% below the U.S. Average.
Yeah. More
telling you could buy a house in Springfield for less than half the cost of a house in Chicago. Wow. Dollars stretch even further thanks to modest utility costs, electricity, phone service, and like which fall 15.2% below the national average. Number 7 is Pueblo, Colorado. Cost of living 20.9 below average. The city population 107,000 people. Median household income is $34,000, $118,000 for a regular home value for a house. It's 100 miles away from Denver, perennial contender where they look for the cheapest places to live. Living expenses come with a trade-off, though. That median household income is the lowest on the list, but 34% lower than the nation's. And the share of the population of the poverty line is near double Colorado's poverty rate. Unemployment hovers north of 10%, so that's one of the drawbacks of Pueblo living there. Wichita Falls, Texas is number 6.
Yeah.
103,000 people live there. Median household income $42,000. Median home value is $90,000.
Yeah, that's cheap.
Yeah, really cheap. Yes.
Okay.
Fayetteville, Arkansas is
You
number
see,
5.
Arkansas seems to be like the cheapest state to live in.
Yeah. I guess that's how you roll. Because Clinton was the governor of Arkansas.
You had a lot of blowjobs there. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
More bang for your buck. Right? The cost of living is 14% below average. City population is 75,000 people. Medium household income is 35,900. Medium home value is 177,900. It's low cost.
What's the medium income?
35,970.
Yeah, that's pretty low. Okay,
Yeah,
next.
Number 4 is Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis.
Cost of living 14% below average. City population, wow, 652,000. Sheesh, that's like Macon and Warner Robins and.
Believe it or
Savannah.
not, that's about the size of Staten Island right now.
Wow, really?
Yeah, Staten Island wasn't very populated when I was there. It was about 350,000. Well, actually, yeah, it was about 350,000. Then it doubled down a few years later. It's about 6 and change now.
Yeah, but get this: the median household income is $37,072. $37,072. Median home value $99,000. It's a big city, the biggest in Tennessee, and has over 500,000 more residents than the next largest city, McAllen, Texas. Yet it doesn't have big city prices.
My brother says that's the home of Elvis. Is that right?
Yes. Memphis is home to Graceland, home to 3 Fortune 500 companies: FedEx, International Paper, and AutoZone. Wow.
AutoZone.
Yes,
Okay.
AutoZone.
Not bad.
That's pretty good.
They got a lot of tornadoes there, though, no?
Yeah, a lot of tornadoes there, and a lot of baby daddies and baby mamas. Of course, you're like, what's that guy Desmond? What's his name? Those 3 guys that impregnated those 46 women and gave them 78 children.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what
They
draws.
got nothing else to do there except screw around.
Yeah, literally.
All right.
Number 3 is Norman, Oklahoma. Cost of living 14.4 below average. City population 113,000. Medium home value $147,000. Medium household income $46,000. Just lying south of Oklahoma City, Norman enjoys a unique combination of low employment, low housing, and living expenses, and high incomes. Apartments rent for $647 a month, on average $100 less than Oklahoma City, and a doctor's visit costs 21% less in Norman than the state capital.
Well, that's a little high because even in Macon, Georgia, you could still find apartments here for $350 a month.
Mm-hmm. It's a city. It's the home to the National Weather Center, which is fitting considering the Norman sits in the heart of tornado country.
Yeah, no wonder.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money to pay for if you don't even know your house is going to be there in a few years.
Yeah. Number 2, McAllen, Texas. The cost of living is 14.6 below average. City population 133,742. That's around the size of Macon. Medium household income is $39,000. Medium home value $105,000. It sits. It's on the southern tip of Texas, along the Rio Grande, which close ties to Mexico geographically and culturally. 85% of the residents are Latino. 78.9% speak a language other than English at home. 28% are foreign-born. There are busy border crossings between McAllen and Reynosa, the adjacent Mexican city that sees its fair share of drug violence, and it's a closer drive to Monterrey, Mexico, about 3 hours away, than to San Antonio, 4 hours, or Houston, Texas, 6 hours away. Area unemployment is high, but living costs are low for housing and groceries. And the number 1 cheapest
cheapest place in the United States to live
is Harlingen, Texas. 18% below average for the cost of living. 66,122 people in the population. Medium household income $35,000. Medium home value $77,900.
Wow.
It's head east toward Gulf of Mexico. McAllen, number 2 on our list. You'll run into Harlingen, another South Texas city with ultra low living costs. Cheap housing is a big factor in its affordability, but so are cheap groceries.
Yeah.
Only Corpus Christi and San Antonio, also in Texas, have cheaper groceries than Harlingen. But affordability doesn't necessarily equate to prosperity. Near double-digit unemployment contributes to the city's 32% poverty rate, nearly double the statewide mark of 17%. The median household income of Harlingen trails the nation by a full $17,500.
Well, there you have it. Thank you, Derek. Nice to know. You got 10 different places to be financially fit.
Yeah.
But there are risks involved. A lot of these places have flood issues, have tornado issues.
Mm-hmm. Smack dab in Tornado Alley. Yeah.
So, no wonder they're cheap.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why even the Louisiana Territory, when I believe it was Jefferson who
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 purchased it from
acquired
Napoleon. Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson. And when he acquired that, by the way, he didn't free the slaves out of there. I mean, he was doing something.
Well, of course. That was the. I guess that was the only.
He could have.
Yeah, he could have at that time.
He could have. And I found out a little bit of history about even George Washington with the slavery. He did free his slaves. Actually, he left them all the money that he had. But anyway, going back to that, when they bought that land from France for $1 million, I believe is what they paid for. The United States paid $1 million for that territory. They got kind of a raw deal because the area is mostly swampland. Mm-hmm. And it also sits on a fault line.
Yeah.
So there are earthquakes there occasionally. They haven't had one.
They
in
don't
a
have
while,
tornadoes and hurricanes.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Tigers and bears.
Oh my.
Oh my.
But anyway, the chatters have been going back and forth a little bit, and we'll just read a few of these. What is Harlington like, though? Dumpster Baby asked. Hi, Dumpster Baby. What's up, buddy? What is that like? I guess...
Well, it's really, really, like I said,
swampy.
Really cheap. Harlingen, Texas. It has extra low living costs. It's head east toward Gulf of Mexico from McAllen, and you'll run into Harlingen. That's what it says.
Yeah.
It says only out of 300 plus urban areas Yahoo looked at, only Corpus Christi and San Antonio have cheaper groceries than Harlingen in the state of Texas. But the affordability doesn't equate to prosperity, like I said. It has near double-digit unemployment, which is contributes to the city's 32% poverty rate, which is nearly double the statewide mark of 17%.
Well, Nical 3000 says he's in Connecticut, Ed's old homestead over there, and it is very expensive. Mm-hmm. Somewhat. Even, I don't know if it's more expensive than Manhattan, but they certainly do charge a lot of rent up in Connecticut.
Yeah. Where's in Connecticut?
Nical 3000.
Where in Connecticut?
We're in Connecticut there, buddy. What area? Anyway.
Yeah, it's expensive over there, but...
They don't have any national
I was able to get on Medicaid up there. I can't get on Medicaid here. They won't pay for it here. I'm from West Hartford.
West Hartford is where Ed is from. Which is also expensive.
William Hall High.
Yeah.
Where we all high.
Yeah. His plastic canvas
your mama. I'm yelling.
Plastic
Clean
canvas.
your room.
Plastic canvas says that's why they are so cheap. It's sad the rates they make people pay. And guess what? He says that's why everything is always going up except our income.
Exactly, and I'll vouch for that one because when I got here, when I started looking for work. And I realized that the job that I had in New York was paying double, literally. Of course, the cost of living is double. So it kind of hedged itself out. But still, I mean, what you get paid here is about a quarter to 50% of what you would make in New York. And the rents aren't as high, but I started paying $700 a month. I was living really great area, Macon, Georgia, to pay that money. But there are apartments here, like at the Massey. It's a beautiful building. Yeah. It's very New Yorkish looking building with steam heat and the whole thing.
Wow.
Big apartments. Some of them are 1,000 square feet. Some of them are 700 square feet. And you pay $350 for this stuff. They don't have a doorman, but they have a beautiful lobby and all that. Kind of reminds me like the apartments my brother used to manage on Staten Island. My brother Edward used to manage and be the super of one of these apartments.
Wow, what do you know? What do you know? It's been an hour has gone by now. It's 9:01.
Wow.
9:01. It's 72 degrees. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's 72. Oh, okay. Yes, it's 72 degrees right now in Macon, Georgia, with a high of 86 and a low of 68. It's somewhat getting cloudy right now because we're still
the
in
blue is gone.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, unfortunately, the blue is definitely gone. It's now gone to gray right now.
Okay, so when we come back, let's do birthdays. Today's birthdays, and we got some other stories to tell.
Yes, exactly. I'll hopefully don't go anywhere. But just before we go on, just want to tell it had some want to tell people about the some type of flash flood warning that was on. At least that's what I saw. Oh yes, a flash flood warning issued for Washington County. So those who are living in Washington County.
That was Washington County.
It's near the
Do
coast.
we have any viewers in Washington County? If we have any viewers in Washington County, send us a message.
Yes.
Good luck.
And keep dry.
Don't
keep
forget to
dry.
wear your rubbers.
Yes.
Break time.
It's time for a break. Your Washington Morning Roast live from the Nut House. We'll be right back.
And
Guys,
breaking
stick
news
around.
on this one.
Okay.
All right, every night we take a look outside the day's top stories for something we'll call the Out Front Outtake. So if you're not a fan of Justin Bieber, we have some news for you tonight. He's about to be launched into space. Now, before you get too excited, you should know that this was Bieber's idea and he is going to return. The CEO of Virgin, Richard Branson, announced via Twitter today that the Biebs and his manager, Scotty Braun, have signed up for the Virgin Galactic suborbital flight. Now, Virgin plans to send a test flight into space by the end of the year, so passengers will experience weightlessness and go up there. Now, by the way, you can get really, really sick if you do that, so I used to be obsessed and now I'm not. But anyway, I couldn't afford it. But some people, like wealthy celebrities like Justin Bieber, can. They can afford a $250,000 ticket price. Are you kidding me? But he's worth $110 million, so I guess for the Biebs, whatever. Now, this wouldn't just be vacation for Justin. He says he plans to do some work while he's up there. And he tweeted today, "Let's shoot a music video in space."
And it's
A music
Virgin
video in
Galactic, too.
space.
Because he's a
Would be cool and
virgin.
groundbreaking, right?
So he says.
No, actually, not at all. Bieber wouldn't even be the first Canadian to do it, never mind the first person. Earlier this year, Chris Hadfield, an actual Canadian astronaut and commander of the International Space Station, recorded, filmed, and edited a cover of the David Bowie song, Space Oddity. Remember this, everybody?
Lock your Soyuz hatch and
Was
put
a
your
little strange, but he did a good job. And while Justin is one of the more famous people, one of the most famous people, frankly, here on Earth, when it comes to outer space, there are much brighter stars.
They can hear you.
Nah.
All they see
Yes.
is Herb like this.
Hey.
And hello, I think we're
Hello,
back.
buddy.
And Anthony picking his nose.
Yeah, it's a
like
freeze
usual.
frame. Freeze frame, buddy. That's special. Bob, your uncle says too freaking hot. Wow, thanks for liking the video.
No, he's talking about. You're talking about where they live. He lives in
Oh,
Dallas, too,
okay.
freaking hot.
He
Read
live
the
in
chat,
Dallas.
damn it. Don't just read the last thing.
Okay.
Derek, he's not talking about you, Derek, or Herb.
All right, sheesh.
Oh, what the hell? Anyway,
Just hating, man. Just hating. God.
Anyway, and that was an interesting story about Justin Bieber. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yes,
He's going to
definitely.
be.
Thank you, Aaron Burnett, the very lovely Aaron Burnett from CNN.
Anyway, Justin Bieber reach could soon extend out of this world.
Yes.
Like, we're so excited about that, aren't we? According to the tweet from Virginia Galactic founder Richard Branson, the 19-year-old pop star and his manager Scooter Braun have joined Ashton Kutcher as the latest celebrities to sign up for a ride on Branson's spaceship to commercial space flight. And Branson's passenger space flight had its first rocket-powered test flight in April and plans to continue its test runs with the goal of reaching full space flight by the end of this year. They call them now the Beebs. Beebs and Braun both retweeted Branson's note, with Bieber already thinking ahead to the grander possibilities. Let's shoot a music video in space. I think that's already been done. I'm just going with the story. Relax.
Okay. Did you see the video?
We're going to talk about
No,
it.
I haven't seen.
And it's not the first time the singer has shared his dreams of universal stardom, as he tweeted back in February he wanted to do a concert in space. All right, what do you think about this?
Did you see the video yet?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Saw the video. We want to talk about it. Is that okay?
Okay.
Thanks.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so what do you think about this? Do you think he wants to get attention?
Well, obviously, yes. Maybe he wants to get attention. I mean, E.T. style. I see, obviously, extra Close Encounter
I
style.
can tell you something. I see another Michael Jackson in the works there.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
You think he's going to die young?
Well, no, I don't know what he's going to do. Maybe he'll have a transgender change into finally a woman, you know?
Oh no! I mean, he does tries to dance like him, and he's influenced by Usher, who was also influenced by Michael Jackson, and he used to have a pet monkey, and now James. Yes.
Dumpster Baby says, well, what about the other people on the flight who paid $100,000 to get away from Justin frickin' Bieber?
I guess they had to make another. I guess they had to have a separate one. I guess a separate shuttle. I guess.
Well, Edward Mampa says, Irv, only the good die young. You're right. That kid will be around in his 80s. Still looking like a girl than he looks like. I'm telling you, he's
still trying to go
really
through puberty.
looks like a girl. By the way, he was photographed the other day with a leather shirt on. Who the hell wears leather shirt? But Justin Bieber.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know.
He's a very effeminate looking. You're right.
Well, yes.
Anyway, enough of this kid. I think we've given him too much attention already.
Yes, see people trying to escape youth, trying to hold on to their youth. And speaking of youth, there's something I read about daily sunscreen.
That's a good story because especially down here in the South and in Florida, Edward, this is good news.
Oh yes.
At least you should take into consideration.
Oh yes. It says daily sunscreen use can slow skin aging, and it's not too late to start now. Says a new study has found that applying sunscreen every day can do more than lower your risk of skin cancer. It can also drastically reduce the effects of photoaging, or the way frequent sun exposure can make your skin look older. And there's more good news. Even if you slacked off on sunscreen in your youth, middle age isn't too late to benefit from slathering it on.
Yeah.
It says according to I guess season 2013, it's been a source of frustration for us that some sections of the community, the SunSafe message does not seems to be getting through. This is Dr. Adele Green, professor at the Queensland Institute of Medical Research at the University of Queensland in Australia. Says, we now know that protecting yourself from skin cancer by using sunscreen has the added bonus of keeping you look younger. Top dermatologists agree. He says, I've been talking about this for many years, and I know this to be true, said Dr. Deborah Jaliman, a cosmetic dermatologist and author of Skin Rules, Trade Secrets from a Top New York Dermatologist, told Yahoo Shine in a phone interview. Says, I can't say I've done a study, but I've known this for many reasons. I worked on skin for many years. The study, published this week in the Annals of Internal Medicine, also looked at whether taking beta-carotene supplements could have an anti-aging effect. Beta-carotene is a type of antioxidant known as a carotenoid, which has been linked to a reduced risk of skin cancer. I think that's also found in carrots, I think. I could be wrong. Yeah, for the randomized...
But Bugs Bunny looks so good.
Yeah.
For so many years.
Yeah, it only had one gray hair. Yes. For the randomized controlled trial, the researchers assigned 903 participants to one of the four groups: those who used the broad-spectrum sunscreens daily and take 30 milligrams of beta-carotene, those who used daily sunscreen and took a placebo, those who took the beta-carotene but only used sunscreen periodically, and those who used sunscreen periodically and took a placebo. All participants were age 55 or younger, and the researchers decided it would not be ethical to have a group in which participants use no sunscreen at all.
You know who's hating this right now, I bet? All those plastic surgeons.
Oh, yeah.
You know, all these people could have avoided looking like a tiger lady and...
you know, catcher's mitts and
yeah,
stuff. You know.
stretch faces.
Looking like Gucci bags.
All they had to do was buy cheap sunscreen.
Yeah, and ate foods rich in beta carotene.
Yeah.
It says, as a matter of fact, it says, according to this, the cost effectiveness of promoting sunscreen use on skin cancer prevention alone is probably substantially higher after accounting for the additional prevention of skin photoaging, wrote the researchers for their report. It said they found that the groups using sunscreen every day showed 24% less photoaging than those who only applied it periodically. The results were the same regardless of age, so even the middle-aged participants benefited from the regular sunscreen use. So, wow. How about that? So if you only have a few minutes in the morning, it makes sense to apply sunscreen to the areas most likely to see the sun. Your face, neck, and hands.
Yeah.
All types of sunscreen, even sport or waterproof formulas, need to be reapplied regularly. And you should wear sunscreen even if you spend all day driving or working indoors, advises Dr. Jalaman, the cosmetic dermatologist.
Yeah. Well, they had a picture of a guy, right, whose half his face on this side was all wrinkled and shriveled like a dry raisin. Yeah. And this side was normal. And the reason that happened was because he was a truck driver and he would drive in the sun all the time, I guess. He driving around all his whole life. That this part of his face was being hit by the sun and it aged his skin on one side while the other side... So he looks like that guy from Batman.
Two-Face?
Yeah, Two-Face. Looks like Two-Face.
Hit you win, tails you lose.
Anyway, by the way, the U.S. economy adds 175,000 jobs in May, but the unemployment rate rises to 7.6% from 7.5%. How does that happen? If we're adding jobs...
But yeah, we're losing them.
We're losing... I don't get it.
I think a lot of people are getting fired and frustrated, or they're outsourcing them. I mean, one or the other.
I don't know. Well, it doesn't make any sense. None of this is making any sense. Either you have really bad mathematicians, or somebody's lying to us.
Well, maybe a little bit of both, because American education system is getting kind of bad anyway. So
yeah, I
mean, it's bad enough the lunches are bad, but I mean, my goodness, I mean.
Well,
doesn't kill to pick up a book every now and then,
By the way, I was looking at Stephen Colbert when he went to Congress, and he was basically making a joke. They really got pissed off at him and threw him out. Mr. Kanye said, you can leave now. But a lot of these problems would be solved if we just settled this immigration problem and get it off our backs, and maybe some of these Mexicans will come back who nobody wants to do that job, really. I mean, do you want to go pick oranges all day in a field? I mean, not the greatest job in the world.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, Ed, if you do you happen to have the video of the Nandita Das about that skin bleaching thing? I would just want to preface it, because since we're on about sunscreen and skin cancer and all that stuff, I thought it would have been a good, segue.
I got it still.
Okay.
I redo everything, so.
Okay. Well, I'll go answer. Matter of fact, I'll go answer this question from guest 112. Morning, Saibuki. How you doing?
Good morning, Saibuki. Welcome.
Yes, I think Caxis the Chimp says, why don't we nationalize our industry? I think, have we done? Well, we've done before, but just not to a certain extent. I think certain industries, I guess. But guest 112 says, not to sound racist, but do black people use sunscreen? Is there melanin natural sunscreen? Yes, black people do use sunscreen. I should use it more because I'm getting old. I'm starting to see crow's feet, but I guess that happens naturally. In age, I'm 44. It says black don't crack, but it does wrinkle. So, I definitely had to use a lot of sunscreen when we were filming 42 because we were wearing. I mean, you got to remember, many of the African American extras. We had to use a lot of sunscreen because we were exposed to the sun. Because the people, the white extras who were also in the baseball field scenes in 42, the early ones, especially at Luther Williams Field, at least they were sitting in the bleachers where it actually had shelter. We were totally exposed to the sunlight in the color section.
And when you make movies, all you do is sit around all freaking day. While the director keeps looking at his little monitor and figure out what else can we do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think 6 out of 7 days when we were filming this, particularly at Luther Williams Field, it was I don't know how in the world those people were able to wear suits back then. I mean, it was like 95, 96 degree weather. I was wearing a really thick suit. I mean, it may have been like either a wool or a thick cotton blend, but it was a very thick suit.
Yeah.
It was a chocolate brown suit, not gray or white, but it was a dark chocolate brown suit, and I had to wear it in 95 degree weather, with a hat on.
It was a pretty hot time in Macon.
Really hot
sure.
time. So yes, we had no other choice but to put on sunscreen, and probably glad of it too because
somebody says that you're a cracker, dumpster baby.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, crack skin. By the way, DB does have some white blood in him, right? Don't you come from the Jefferson clan or something?
The Jeffersons.
The bunkers.
The bunkers.
Anyway.
Okay. Cool.
So just a reminder, folks, the best thing you can do is put on some sunscreen, especially if you live in the South or those areas that have a lot of sun.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, then go and pay for a facelift.
Yeah.
Go spend your money on that.
Yes. Saibuki says, not something you see a lot in the UK. What, sunshine, Saibuki? Well, I guess it does rain a lot.
Well, England has got a lot of clouds there, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of cloudy. Well, I guess price.
They're not known for their sun. They don't go sunbathing in England, really.
In London,
where are you going to go? To Thames River? All right,
true.
What else?
Oh, yeah, I was reading what Mr. Dumpster Baby was saying. In Scotland, we all run indoors when the sun comes out. Our pasty pale skin can't handle it. Jeez. Wow. Sergio St. James says, do black people get sunburned? As a frequent visitor of amusement parks in the South, I will say yes. There are no true or pure black people in America. We were all intermixed a long time ago. Yeah, that's very, very, very true. Some willingly, some not so willingly. Ask any of Thomas Jefferson's Sally Hemings descendants. But that's a whole other story for another time. But
anyway, they're talking about weather everywhere. Alaska, right now, they have, somebody says here, right now, Bob's your uncle. I was stuck on 135 in 120 degree heat for 3 hours on black leather in a convertible. Oh, my Lord.
Whew, boy.
Shit. You could fry some eggs on your seat next to you.
Yeah.
Mr. D, you'll be glad to hear that we have light shower today. Isn't that just about every day in England? They either have fog or showers or cloud.
Yes.
Well, anyway, skin cancer is really bad if you stay in the sun a lot. That's right, Bean?
Oh, yes.
I wish I would have known that when I was younger, because I used to go to the beach just about every other day.
Yeah.
Since the beaches were close to where I lived in Canarsie. And
yeah, I remember when I went to the city. I remember I used to go to the city pool, Memorial.
When they were open.
Yeah, when they were open. Yeah, when I was a teenager, and I used to realize, dang, I remember I was. The reason why I do need sunblock, because I remember actually coming out there, I didn't even recognize myself because I was like 5 shades darker. I was like almost the color of this tablecloth right here. Yeah, I didn't even recognize myself. I was like, who is this?
Well, Shaibuki says, Irv, not where I live. I live in the UK. I live in the only bit that gets sun. Wow. I bet that they have sunny dispositions there, because, yeah. Anyway, looking at the Queen,
yeah,
who's very introverted, I would say.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
by the way, I'm hoping that the Prince Philip will get better.
Yeah, yeah.
He's 91 years old.
Right.
And he's been a gentleman his whole life, somewhat, playing second fiddle to the Queen. You have to give him some props. The guy was never in a big controversy. Only his kids were.
Well, yeah.
But he was always stood up. And even the Queen herself wasn't really in controversy, except when Diana died.
Right, right.
She's given a cold corpse a cold shoulder. And, but then she relented.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that she does better. That he does better, rather, because he's been sick with some kind of stomach ailment.
Yeah, he's up. Yeah, he's definitely up in ages. He was definitely up in age, being 91 years old.
Yeah, he's 91 years old, and he's got stomach problems. That's not a good thing, actually. Anyway, we have birthdays coming up. Let's do some birthdays here. While you're getting that, here we go. We got something that just came in. 2 EMT patients killed in Georgia ambulance crash. Once again, Georgia State Patrol officials say a tractor trailer involved in a fatal crash with an ambulance in South Georgia jackknifed as the car ahead of it was pulling off the road. Authorities said the incident early this morning killed 56-year-old Randall Whitten and 44-year-old Teresa Ann Davis. The two, Coffee County, I didn't even know there was a county named Coffee. Oh, really? Coffee County EMTs. A 65-year-old patient riding back in the ambulance, Charles Arvin Smith, also was killed. Authorities say the ambulance had its lights on and siren at the time of the crash. Police have identified the truck driver as Rockwell Lott of Tifton. It's not clear if he was injured. Whitten's son Ben says his father worked part-time in Coffee and Irwin counties and is a former Turner County EMS director and fire chief. Well, sorry to hear that, boy. You're in an ambulance trying to get help and you got killed. What the hell?
Yeah, I know. Yes, it was really messed up.
It was his day to go.
Yeah. Speaking of opposite of that, here's some birthdays, and who would have thought? I knew it was going to be top of the list right here. The first one. First special June 7th birthday is the purple one himself. Prince, right here. He's turning 55.
Yeah. Great performer.
The artist of Purple Rain was one of the top 30-40 single hits that this musician had in his career. He's a great guitarist, singer, often considered a sex symbol. He won an Academy Award for Best Soundtrack for his album of the same name, Purple Rain, for the movie Purple Rain. Also, another birthday, Tom Jones. It's not unusual. He's not on this list.
All right,
He's 73.
73. They're still throwing panties at him. I swear to you, they're still throwing panties at this guy. He's like a grandfather.
Yeah, but they're bloomers now.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're right. They are.
They're
They're like
bloomers.
this big. Okay.
They're bloomers. Also, Liam Neeson, Irish star from Schindler's List, The Grey, and The Taken, and he's in other movies.
Yeah.
He's turned 61 today. Who was born on this day but died in 1995 was the great Rat Packer Dean Martin.
Yeah.
Movie partner of Jerry Lewis. Allen Iverson, former Georgetown star and later 76ers guard, was an MVP 2000, 2001.
He's the guy that went broke and he says, I can't even buy a hamburger.
Yeah, Allen Iverson.
And blah, blah, blah. He blew all his money.
Yeah, he turned 38 years old today. Michael Cera, he's 25. He's a young rising star. He was on the TV show Arrested Development. He's been in hit movies, indie films such as Juno and Superbad. He turns 25. Bear Grylls, English adventure and reality star from the reality series Man vs. Wild. He turns 39 years old. Mick Foley turns 48 years old today. Fearless WWE wrestler who has WWE Hall of Famer used the ring names of Mankind, Dude Love, and Cactus Jack Brother. Yes, Kim Rose, age 44, turns 44 today. She's known as popular as Cindy Harrison on the soap opera Another World and As the World Turns, and also played the mom on the ABC Kids show and Disney Channel show Welcome to the Sweet Life or something like that. something similar like that.
Yeah.
But Antonio L.A. Reid, founder of LaFace Records, and helped many people of the music industry's brightest stars as producer, executive producer. He's former partner of Babyface. Turns 57 years old.
Isn't he on a show?
Huh?
Did I tell you I met him?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was setting up my karaoke for Jonita's one night.
Oh, okay.
And there was a bunch. We were doing an audition, you know.
Yeah.
I just went over, you know how I am, and he introduced himself. I'm like,
Did he give you a contract? No, of course not. Okay.
he's not with Def Jam anymore, anyways.
No.
He was getting
LaFace Records.
Isn't he on a show right now? He's on like The Voice.
The X Factor. He was on X Factor
yeah.
with Simon Cowell. Yes, he used. As a matter of fact, those who knew him back during the '80s, he used to be the partner with the singer Babyface, and he was once married to the singer Pebbles, who was on his record label.
Where's Bam Bam?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess people just don't give a damn
All right,
about
couple
Bam
more
Bam.
on these birthdays. Couple of more.
Yes, yeah. Bill Hader, American actor, comedian, writer. He was also in the movie Superbad. Honest, know him as one of the current members of the cast member of Saturday Night Live.
He just retired.
He's 35. Yeah.
This last season.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Anna Kournikova, she's 32 years old today. She's known for her good looks and as her tennis playing ability. She kind of sucks as a pro tennis player, but she's really kind of cute. But she's Jenny Jones, a former talk show host. She was on a guest on a winner on Star Search stand-up comedy.
Yeah, she had the girl, the guy on her show.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy who came out.
Yeah.
With another guest, and that guest killed him. You remember that?
I definitely remember that. I remember actually airing that show, as a matter of fact.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On Fox.
On Fox, it was a big news.
Yeah,
at
it
that
was
time.
big deal.
Big news.
They were saying they were even questioning whether these shows are a good idea.
Yeah, these talk shows. Yeah. Definitely. She's turned 67 years old today. Wow, up in age. Carl Urban, 41 years old. Turns 41 years old today. He's a New Zealand actor who played Omer in Lord of the Rings. Wow. Okay. Gwendolyn Brooks. She was born on this day, 1917. She died in 2000. Pulitzer Prize-winning poet who wrote A Street in Bronzeville. Charlie Simpson, age 28. He's an English alternative singer. Also born on this day, you had Paul Gauguin, born in 1848, died in 1903. He was a French artist and friend of Van Gogh. Painted Village Life in Tahiti. And also born on this day, Jessica Tandy was born in 1909, died in 1994. She was known as the actress who was married to Hume Cronin and was won an Oscar for her role in Driving Miss Daisy. And Dave Navarro also he's turned 46 years old. He played with the band the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And actress William Forsythe, he's 58 years old. Frequently plays a tough guy or bully on roles such as Dick Tracy and Out for Justice, the classic Steven Seagal film. And James Ivory, he turns 85 years old today. He's a British director who works with Merchant Ivory. Mr. Merchant, he directed numerous films such as A Room with a View, Mr. and Mrs. Bridge, and Howard's End.
There we have it. Happy birthday to you all. Some of you are dead, of course, Dean Martin especially.
Yeah, Jessica Tandy.
And Jessica Tandy, the great actress. All right, well, we've got a fugitive on the run, by the way, folks, here in Middle Georgia. Did we read this yet?
Well, partially. Federal authorities search for penitentiary inmate. Federal authorities are searching for an inmate they describe as a fugitive on the run. Magistrate Judge Russell G. Vineyard signed a federal complaint accusing Clayton Armstrong Hill of walking away from the U.S. Penitentiary in Southeast Atlanta on May 28th. The penitentiary is a medium security facility. It wasn't immediately clear how Hill got away from the penitentiary.
Take the shower.
Yeah. Deputy U.S. Marshal Clay Cleveland said in an affidavit that a bed count was conducted to verify Hill's status and that officials identified him as missing. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution reports that Hill was indicted in 2009 and pleaded guilty to filing 121 fraudulent federal income tax returns in Illinois and Georgia between 2002 and 2006. An indictment states that he had received more than $353,000 in refunds.
There you go, the IRS doing their good work as always, and this guy got away with it for a while anyway.
Wow.
Anyway, he's basically an IRS income tax fraud guy. And but here's the thing: what's happening with these penitentiaries, although they say it was a low security, medium security, a lot of times is that a lot of these correction officers, or whatever you call them, they don't do their job. They walk away from watching these inmates. I mean, who the hell wants to sit there all day and watch the inmates? But then again, it's a choice that you make. That's the kind of job that you want, and that's the kind of job that you should perform. I blame that on the correction officials.
Yeah, the security.
The security, because they're not doing their job. And they blame the inmate. They give him... Look, any inmate doesn't want to stay in a jail, okay?
Who doesn't?
They do their time. So they're always thinking about getting the hell out of there.
Right.
So if you know that already, why aren't you keeping an eye on these guys?
That's very true.
Especially when it's a medium facility. It's not really like a high security situation. So I just don't understand why these guys getting paid to do a job and they're not doing their job.
You're not doing it well enough. Yeah.
Well, they're not doing it well enough. Every day I'm hearing somebody's escaping from a prison, and especially here in Georgia. Just seems like every day that's what's happening. Sergio says, I couldn't take a job as a correction officer. I was locked up for 4 days. You couldn't pay me to go back to jail. You're right. I mean, but being locked up for 4 days, didn't you notice, Sergio, how they almost ignore you?
Right.
They don't really even look at you. And then they do it in the bed count.
Yeah.
The one guy that really doesn't work all day, that has a night shift, and all he does is walk around with a pencil and a freaking
pad.
Yeah,
Clipboard.
a pad. Like, they look in and they walk away. They don't do shit. All they do all day is eat and sit in an office, and who the hell knows what they're doing.
Yeah, that's true. I guess a lot of guys, a lot of people there have been watching Shawshank Redemption a lot. I guess.
Yeah.
Go figure.
You're right, Saibuki. The correction officer is really the one serving time. Yes, but they chose that, unlike the inmates. You know, look. I know firsthand that these correction officers don't do the job, and many times you would look up and they weren't even there where they were supposed to be. That's just what happened. Anyway.
Yeah, I said Bob, your uncle said I read somewhere that Australia was originally a penal colony.
Wow. Penal colony.
Yeah, like a prison colony. That's what it.
Why do you think they call it a penal institution?
Wonder why they call it that. Anyway. So.
Speaking of soap and skin, we were talking earlier about sunscreen. There was a video that I was checking out about screen use, and they had the actress Nandita Das. She was a Bollywood screen actress. They were talking about
She's big in India. Nobody knows her yet.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
Yeah. Well, they were talking about how we know that how in India people somehow like to. They like fairer skinned, lighter skinned women there than darker skinned women there. It's kind of like true here, particularly in African American community, where you don't see that many darker skinned actresses compared to lighter skinned actresses in America, which is kind of strange though when you think. I mean, when you consider that in India there are more popular light skinned Indian actresses over there. But in America, you see a lot more darker complected Indian actresses here because very few of them can get jobs in India. They have to go to the States in America and Canada and England to actually get jobs. I mean, if you don't believe me, you could check out the TV show Outsourced that used to be on NBC, or the girl from ER, Parminder Nagra. They were like some of them were like my complexion or even darker. Getting acting jobs there.
Yeah.
I think Ed has a video of it. If
which one?
Nandita. Yes.
Yeah, I told you.
Okay.
I would tell you I had it ready like.
Oh, great.
Okay.
So you have it queued up.
Okay. Well, roll that beautiful bean complexion footage.
Bean what?
You just want to
Here
look at
we
the girl.
go. Da, da, da.
Okay.
Every article of mine always begins with dark and dusky. It has to, as if that qualification, without that, I'm incomplete. When you write about, various actresses who are mostly fair, you don't start with the fair Kareena, the fair Aishwarya, or the fair Priyanka. But if it is dark, because it's such an aberration, it's always written about. A lot of people who try to be politically correct, they say, oh, we love the dark skin. In fact, I like dark women more. Like, you don't have to like them more. You either like somebody or you don't like. You don't like them or not like them because of their nose or their teeth or their color of the skin or their hair. These are wrong reasons to like someone in any case. Because I do mostly films that are with real characters, real women, many of them who are dark, so it's fine. But when I do, and let's say an upper middle class character, a class that I come from, often the directors would come and tell you, listen, this is a slightly upper class character. Do you mind making it a little bit fair? I hope you don't mind. And I'd say, please, are you telling me that only the lower classes women are dark and that nobody across the class or caste or whatever is not? So it's such a mindset, it's such a stereotyping, and we keep perpetuating that, So it is a very dangerous trend, but everybody now in the industry knows that I keep fighting about it, and I'm very vocal about it. Every opportunity I get, I speak about it in the hope that, some women will gain that confidence. And a lot of women do come up to me and say, oh, we feel, I've seen parents telling their daughters, see, even she's dark, but she's fine with it, and things like that. It's so bizarre, the obsession in this country with fair skin, that it's really sad. That's all I can say. Especially in your mainstream, you have to have the woman who's fair. So as it is, but thankfully I don't like to do too many mainstream films unless it is a mainstream structure, but the film and the subject is really strong, which very seldom happens. And even if it does, they of course want still stereotypical looking women. My hair is not perfect, as you can see. I've tied it in a bag under a clip, and my body is not perfect, and nothing is perfect. So the hard work that is needed for that kind of perfection, I don't think I can do. I think I have far more interesting things to do in my life than to keep worrying about this. So I'm sure I've lost out on roles, but it's okay. Thankfully, I'm not a very ambitious actress. It's not like I want to be the best actor in this world or country or whatever. So I'm quite relaxed about it. If interesting and good roles and good films and good stories come to me, and thankfully they do, I choose from that. And sometimes they don't, and that's fine. I have other things to do that keep me happily busy. Well, there are many fairness creams have come in the market, including the ones for your underarms. There is a cream now for the vagina, which is bizarre. And it has a stupid campaign which says that even your private parts to someone who loves you, you must make it fair. And I know it's some stupid. So, it's completely crazy, the obsession. But this is market created as well. And, there is a nexus almost of everybody. I mean, you see the films, it mostly has fair heroines. And the ones that were dark before, you see their first film and you see the same actresses now, there's a huge difference. They would write dark and dusky, and now they still write dusky, but they're not dusky anymore. They've all become like completely white, So it's really sad. You see hoardings, you see advertisements. I remember a friend of mine who's also dark, she picked up a magazine and, she said, all beauty magazines are here to make you feel ugly. Because they're always telling you that, you are not good enough. You could do this, you could do that. And I think this is really a marketing thing which is harming a lot of people, because what they're losing is their own self-esteem, their confidence. And for something that they're just born with, I mean, how ridiculous is it? Even though they understand it intellectually, I think the pressure around is so much that you start feeling small and you want to do something about it. It's just something that has become an area of interest, of passion to some extent, because of what it is doing to millions of girls and boys, and especially young girls who feel very pressured, whether it's in their workplace, whether it's in their family, they're constantly being told that if you're dark, you won't get married, nobody will look at you, you won't get a good job. So I think this obsession that Indians and I think South Asians, a lot of developing countries have, but I think it's always like in the Western world, people want to get tanned. In here, they want to, become fair. So it's that wanting what you don't have kind of a syndrome. So it's something that over the years has just become something that I take up as a cause because I see so many women suffer unnecessarily.
All right.
Okay,
a lot of shit. Oh, whatever. It was all right.
We got to get on our baby.
God.
2 to 3 minutes, Garrett.
Okay,
Don't
2 to
be
3
sending
minutes.
these
Yapping
hour-long,
away.
Documentaries. Garrett.
Okay.
Whatever.
But I was just showing, I guess I send the pictures of the actress and the
She did the same thing Michael Jackson wanted to do.
want to be starring something.
Want to be white.
Oh, gee.
Anyway,
That's wrong,
You
man.
want to be white.
they got billions of people that can look at that video besides us. Let them go. Show it to their people.
Okay.
Not to be racist here. I'm not being. Right? It's just, what the hell was she saying? Besides the fact that a long-winded, talking
Yeah.
about skin bleach.
Either.
Yes. Well, I know it's a really
I wonder if she takes food stamps.
She is.
Guess 94. Women are born with something called flat mouth. And 98% of women can't shut the fuck up.
Dang, that's messed.
Anyway.
But she was basically saying that it's kind of, she could get work, or not just in act, since she's an actress, she has to like get jobs in America because she can't, it's hard to get jobs in Bollywood because they want a light skinned, actress
and
like
they got a
Aishwarya
billion
Rai.
people there. There's just too many people.
Well, it's not just too many people. Just the thing is, Bollywood is basically giving a lie because the majority of the people in India are really dark skinned.
Yeah.
They're my complexion. In fact, some or even darker.
You know
I mean,
what?
that's the thing.
Look,
But
to be honest, they've been taking a lot of American jobs as it is. Every time you call some of these cell phone companies, you got someone in India answering that damn phone. You know?
Right.
And
right.
So I have no sympathy.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I guess JCA actually, I guess, maybe agree with you. It says,
I have sympathy for anybody.
Yeah, as a JCA says, I remember when blacks used to be racist against Koreans, but now it's Indians. I guess because it's the hair, because they get that's where they get the majority of their hair from. They used to get the hair from Koreans and Filipinos, but since India has 1 billion people, you're able to get like almost an endless supply of straight hair.
Yeah.
And plus, I guess a lot of black people don't seem to get along. Not saying all, but they seem to always have a conflict with each other. But like I'm not black, but you got our complexion. Yeah,
Well,
but I got white people's head. Like you was kind of confusing,
Well, here's the other thing that I'm a little bit perturbed about. Maybe I have an attitude with it. It seems like they buy up all the stores here, and then they double tax you. You have to really be smart to figure out whether they're actually charging you the tax. They never give you a receipt unless you ask for it.
Yes.
Right down the block, they charge $4.75 for a 4-pound bag of sugar.
Dang.
I mean, come on. And then the potato chips, they're supposed to be a quarter, right? They charge you 50 cents. It just, I don't know what they're doing.
So they're gouging prices?
Yeah, and then you can't complain because right away they throw you out of the store and say they're going to call the police on you.
Well, it's plain and simple. If you don't like the price, just don't go to their store.
Well, there's no other place to go then. They're all
Just like
over
they
the
did
place.
with the bus boycott. If you don't like the service, stop getting on the bus. Walk.
Well, I
know it's easier said than done because it's much more easier for someone just coming into the country to get a loan for a business than
I don't know how they get that money. They always seem to have a business.
Well, yeah, because they have some people have 2-3 years to either free or low percentage rate to start their business and pay.
Or there's a mafia involved, like 100 Indians all putting in their money, like $10 a piece to buy a store. I don't know how they do it, but they are doing it.
Yeah, so Buka says, and you pay, so why not? You're in America after all. Well, that's true, but you're not supposed to gouge a price. That is illegal. So
Yeah. When we were young and I played a straw, he acted like one of them. Yeah, that's true. You were always coming in and robbing me, if you remember. Yeah, you see that? I used to rob him. Anyway.
So it's an inside job?
Yeah, inside job. I used to come in and ruin it. Anyway, so it's funny as hell.
Wow.
I used to cry like a baby, you know. I used to get, leave us alone. He'd come in and start stealing from us, you know.
Leave us alone. Hurry up and buy.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know.
Sad,
I'm just saying, you know, it seems like they are owning most of the business. And in New York, it's all Pakistani cab drivers. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's like they got so many people that's spilling over in here, I guess. Mm-hmm. Without knowing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been, living in New York City is going to happen. Speaking of New York City, we have the Tony Awards are going to be coming up this weekend.
Very soon. Who's hosting that again?
It's going to be Neil Patrick Harris from.
The guy who came out. He used to be.
Used to be formerly known as Doogie Howser. Yeah, Doogie Howser. Now on the CBS show How I Met Your Mother, he's going to be the host. And they have some, it's going to be on Sunday night, 8:00 p.m. on CBS.
And this is good for those of you who like Broadway shows, right?
Yes, Broadway shows.
That's all it is, really.
Yes, Broadway shows and musicals. For Best Play nominated is going to be are the Assembled Parties, the author Richard Greenberg, Lucky Guy, written by the late Nora Ephron, who recently passed away, The Testament of Mary, written by Colm Tolban, and Vanya and Sonia and the Masha and Spike was written by Christopher Durang. The best musical nominees are Bring It On, the musical. Wow, they actually made a musical of an early 2000s teen movie about cheerleaders? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. The Christmas Story, the musical, saying they made a musical of the Christmas Story, the 1983 movie back in the day. So they made a musical about that? Wow. Kinky Boots, that's another nominee for Best Musical, and Matilda, the musical. Wow, a child. Wow, how about that? Best Book of a Musical, A Christmas Story, the musical, by Joseph Robinette. Kinky Boots by Harvey Fierstein. Matilda, the musical, by Dennis Kelly. And Roger and Hammerstein's Cinderella by Douglas and Carter Bean. Wow, how about that? So we got some kids stuff. Cinderella and Matilda, and I think somewhere, Annie somewhere in the mix?
No, I went to see Peter Pan some years ago.
Yeah. And
when you have kids in the Broadway show, they're a lot of fun. They react. Mm-hmm. And there was this one kid where Captain Hook was saying, on stage, I'm going to get that Peter Pan and
that Peter Pan.
And he's walking around with his hook.
Yes.
And this little kid starts yelling out of the audience saying, "No, you're not." And he goes, "Yes, I'm going to go out." And the kid says again, "No, you're not." And he looks at the kid and goes, "Yes, I am." The whole audience went crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they just react.
There's let's see. There's some best revival of a play nominee: Golden Boy, Orphans, The Trip to Bountiful, and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. The best revival of a musical: Annie, The Mystery of Edwin Drood, Pippin, and Roger and Hammerstein's Cinderella. So you have Cinderella, Annie, and Matilda, the musical, which I guess is based on a children's book. So you got a whole bunch of kid, family-friendly type plays and musicals nominated for the Tonys. Here's some familiar faces. Some people that are nominated for Best Performance by an Actor in the Leading Role in a Play. You have Tom Hanks. Nominated in Laura Ephron's play, Lucky Guy.
Yeah, Lucky Guy.
Yeah. Nathan Lane, nominated for The Nance.
That's the guy that was in The Birdcage.
Yeah, The Birdcage, yes.
He played the female in that.
Yes, and he also was the voice of...
With, the guy from Mork and Mindy.
Yeah, he was also the voice of Timon, the little meerkat from The Lion King, the cartoon version. Tracy Letts from Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. David Hyde Pierce of Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike, who played Frasier's brother, Niles, on the show Frasier. Tom Sturridge in Orphans. Best performance by an actress in a leading role to play Laurie Metcalf from fame of Roseanne. In The Other Place, she played Roseanne's sister. Amy Morton from Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Christine Nielsen of Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike. Holland Taylor in Anne. Holland Taylor, she played Charlie Charlie Sheen's and John Cryer's mother on 2.5 Men. She played the mother. And Cicely Tyson, Tony Award winner and Emmy Award winner of fame from Miss Jane Pittman. She's also nominated in The Trip to Bountiful. This is supposed to be a really incredible role because she's in the entire play. She does not have no stage in, stage out. She's on stage the entire performance. Trip to Bountiful. That is remarkable because those plays are like 2 hours long, and can you top and be on stage for 2 hours that long?
Well, never mind that. Can you sit there and watch a play for 2 hours? I've gone to some plays where I start falling asleep in these things.
Yeah.
I mean, I go in all gangbusters, all wild up, and then after a while, one of them was Sweeney Todd.
Okay.
And what used to happen at the beginning of every break, they would set off this big, loud, sonic blowhorn that used to like wake the hell out of the audience up.
Wow.
And that was a good play.
I know, that's got to be.
Anyway.
I'll just go into this one more just to get some of these names on here. Best performance by an actor in a featured role in a play. Danny Bernstein in Golden Boy. Richard Kind, who been in shows like Scrubs and Mad About You. He's nominated in The Big Knife. Billy Magnuson in Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike. Tony Shalhoub from Monk fame, Emmy Award winner. He's also nominated in Golden Boy. And also Courtney B. Vance. Oh yeah, Ed wants it. And also Courtney B. Vance, who's married to actress Angela Bassett and who's been in movies like Hamburger Hill. He's also nominated in Lucky Guy. So Courtney B. Vance and Tom Hanks are both nominated for Lucky Guy.
Wow.
Courtney Vance.
Well,
What did he play? What did he play?
He was in the movie Hamburger Hill. He's married to Angela Bassett.
He black?
Yeah, black. From he's on Law and Order.
Gay, though.
No, he's not gay. He's on Law and Order, Criminal Intent. He's in one of those Law and Order shows.
I know him.
Dun, dun.
Yeah.
That one.
That's what
Anyway, I want to thank C-Flux. He sent me some stats about here in Bibb County
Right.
that I want to read because I think it's important for people to know about our health. This comes from the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation.
Okay.
The county health and rankings and roadmaps, I guess, talking about what's going on here in Bibb County. And look at this. We got, in premature death, this is mortality, we got 11,183. In Georgia, it's about 7,600.
Wow.
And in the national, it's about 5,300. Poor health, 17%. That's very high. The average is about 10% national. Poor physical health, 3.2. The average is about 2.6. Poor mental health days, 3.5. That's very high. Low birth weight, 13.3, which is the national benchmark is about 6.0. So we're double that, or over double. Adult smoking, like me, 21% of the people here smoke. Adult obesity, 30%. Here in Macon. Physical activity.
Compared to what, 25%?
25%.
Of the national, wow.
And adult obesity. Physical inactivity is 29%. There's nothing much to do around here. That's the problem.
Right.
And it gets so hot here. You go outside, you can't breathe. Excessive drinking, 11%. 7%
Compared
is
to
national.
7%.
Yeah. Motor vehicle rate, death rate is 18%. I always said Georgia drivers are terrible.
Compared to 10% of the national.
National. Sexually transmitted infections, 684.
Compared to 92 on the national.
Shoot. Pretty bad.
Yeah.
I would tell this guy that got the cancer in his throat. What the hell?
Yeah. Michael
Yeah,
Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Don't come to
Don't
Georgia.
come here.
Don't
man.
come.
Don't come here.
Get
You'll be able to swallow more than you could chew.
The teen birth rate is 65 compared to 21.
Yeah.
The uninsured is 19% compared to 11. This is very depressing, by the way.
Very
Thank
depressing.
you, Seaflux. You just screwed up my whole day here. Jesus.
Mess up his weekend.
Jesus. Well, primary care for physicians is 967.1, while the national average is 1,067. So we're low on that.
That's good.
Dentists, 2,100. The national
21.
average is 15.
Wow.
6. So a lot of people without good teeth.
Okay.
Kind of like England. Well, anyway, diabetic screening, they have 81%, and compared to 90%. So we have less diabetics here, I guess. Mammography is 69%. Now here's some more interesting, less on medical. High school graduation, 51%.
Wow.
In Georgia, it's about 67%. So we're low on that. Some college, 56%, while the national average is 70%. Unemployment, ready? 10.5%. Now, this is bullshit. The national benchmark is 5.0. It's not 5.0. If you took a look at the real numbers nationally, it's about 15%.
Yeah.
I would believe. Because nobody, there are people right now that aren't even counted.
I know.
That have been without jobs for up to 4 years now. Maybe more. Maybe more. Children in poverty, 35%. The national average is 14%. And the violent crime rate, ready? 627. In Georgia, it's 437. The national benchmark is 66. There you have it. Bibb County.
Wow.
Thank you, Seaflux.
Gee.
Thanks for pulling down our pants and showing us for what we really are.
Yes. Guest 520 says, sounds like a lot of eating junk food, lazy, laying around, no working areas. Sabuki says, like I said, if you have breast cancer or diabetic, you better care and Bibb. You get better care and Bibb.
Wow.
Sheesh.
Wow.
He says, so guess 520 says, making have good weed. Good weed means good business at the
that's
fast food
true.
joints.
Now, we got fast food joints everywhere. I swear to God, that's a problem. You take a look at some of the stores here. All they sell is junk food. You look at these Indian stores. And you go in those stores and all you have is potato chips and buns. Honey buns.
Potato chips, buns, and beer.
Yeah.
And
And newspapers that aren't worth reading.
Lots of white.
I think I'm gonna move out of here. Let's look at Texas.
I mean, truth. Yeah, of course. If you want to tangle with a tornado, hey, be my guest.
Yeah, we have different kinds of floods. We're flooded with bullshit here. That's
It's kind of talking about. Yeah, my place. There's like, fast food place out of Wazoo. I mean, I live half a mile away from a Burger King. And I live like a 3/4 of a mile away from a Krispy Kreme donut, which they have like that free donut thing today.
Oh, today? Yeah,
One
go
per
out
customer.
to your Krispy Kreme if you have one in your hood.
Yeah.
Go out and get your free donut. By the way, Dumpster Baby says they sell what you buy, Irv. Don't blame them for making a living. You're right. I mean, that's the God honest truth. You're absolutely right. This is what people like to buy. Bullshit food, potato chips. This is why the kids are so wired up. I mean, they have so much salt and all that crap in it. And they don't sell like the brands anymore. They sell like Uncle Tom's potato chips. Mm-hmm. And,
Yeah, guess factor. So if you see a lot of people walking around with Twinkies and a quart of chocolate milk, the brother is stone count on it. Well, if he's not stoned, he got a sugar high out of his world. Shoot.
Guest 62 says, pig lips are good enough, but I don't care to kiss them.
Pig lips. Are you talking about like the stuff they put in hot dogs or in the hot dogs in the convenience stores?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust them. I mean, I had to get like, it was a Moscow Mine or the Hebrew National, the kosher type Franks over at the grocery stores. I don't trust the 7-Eleven convenience store Franks. They've been there for a lot. Those flash food Franks. no meat byproducts unless it's a Slim Jim or something like that. You know.
Well, who knows?
It's already dried up, so I know it's not going to be that much. You know.
Well,
not that bad.
Here's the news out of Washington.
Okay.
Okay. U.S. employees added 175,000 jobs. Look, with all the jobs that have been lost, it's going to take more than 175,000 jobs to make any kind of a dent.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think, they say the unemployment rate rose from 7.6 to 7.5. We mentioned this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And again, how are they doing their calculations? If they don't really have the people, you know, unemployment has run out for at least most of the people who are been on unemployment where they had all those extensions going.
Uh-huh.
And you were in that situation, right?
Yes.
Where unemployment ran out because you couldn't find a job for God knows how long.
Yeah.
So they're not even counting those people. So I take these numbers.
With a grain of salt, I guess.
And by the way, the government said the economy added 12,000 fewer jobs in April than in March. So.
Wow. I guess that's that time to take a break. Boy, time flew on this one. We're down to the home stretch here. It's 10:02 a.m. right here on the Morning Roast live from the Nut House. It's 72 degrees outside of Macon, Georgia. Oops, 71. My mistake. 71 degrees and cloudy with a high of 86 and a low of 68. Don't let the sunlight fool you. Better get your umbrella ready because we're gonna have a wet weekend.
I'm glad you didn't say wing.
By the way, don't go anywhere. We appreciate you guys staying with
I
us.
was resisting.
We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And so stick around. We got more to come.
Yes, definitely have some sports, especially going on with the NBA Finals. That was on last night, Game 1. You will not believe your ears what went on. We'll be right back.
Waiting. Once they pull the suspect over, the sergeant has the rookie act as his backup.
Go around the passenger side and meet me up front.
However, the upbeat woman who gets out of the vehicle doesn't seem like a threat.
How you doing?
Showing the young recruit how to handle the situation, the sergeant demands to know why she was speeding.
I've heard all the excuses, okay? Tell me the reason why.
I'm sorry, I know I was driving really fast, but I had slowed down. I was driving faster before. Is this
The rookie may be new to the job, but he's never heard of this.
I had been doing like 100 and I got down to like 80.
Well, why are you going so fast?
Well, I had to because I was trying to get away from the men in the car.
The men?
The black car. These men were chasing me.
For what?
Because I have their, money.
Okay. Where is that money at?
It's in the car.
The sergeant leaves the baffled deputy to babysit the suspect. And inside the Jeep, he finds some serious cash.
Jeez. Yeah, I'd say that's a lot of money. All right. Hold on this one. Tell me about this money. What's the story with that?
They're mad. That's why they were chasing me, because of the drugs.
The drugs. Well, what about the drugs?
I have their drugs.
The drugs in this car.
There's some. I don't know if all of them are there, but I picked up what I could and put it there, and then I drove off.
You just stay right there and don't move, okay?
While he searches the Jeep, the woman pleads her case to the rookie.
My boyfriend is in rehab, and I was supposed to just get rid of it. I was supposed to get rid of it. I mean, we are starting a new life, and the rehab was really working, and he's so much better now. Everything's better.
Unfortunately for her, this heartwarming story produces a heart-stopping amount of drugs.
Is that a lot?
You think that's a lot?
So I was supposed to drive to the Days Inn in Cordele and meet the guys.
As the deputy listens, he's thinking one thing. This sergeant must be the best roadside interrogator in the history of law enforcement.
So he was shouting back, and then the next thing I know, the gun went off, and the guy fell down.
The gun?
There was a gun. Well, they may have had more than one, but there was the one that I saw and picked up.
Where is that gun now?
It's in the back of the Jeep.
Once again, the woman has told the truth. There is definitely a gun in the back of the Jeep.
Jeez.
Is that a bad one?
I should say so.
What is it bad?
Yeah, that's bad.
I am so...
The rookie tries to concentrate. He's mentally recording every detail in preparation for the eventual trial.
Else?
No, I don't think so.
As far as the young deputy is concerned, this woman is on her way to jail.
Well, look, I've got to take this stuff into evidence, obviously.
Okay.
Because it's illegal.
I know it's bad.
Yeah, it's real bad.
Okay.
It's real bad. But I think that you've been honest with me.
Oh, I have.
And I appreciate that.
I swear.
What I'm going to do is cut you a break and give you a warning, okay?
Oh, y'all were so sweet. Really? Okay.
The rookie cannot believe what he's just heard.
But you have got to slow down.
Slow down. What about the money? What about the gun and the drugs? The rookie's mind is racing at a mile a minute. But he says nothing. But before she goes, the woman has one more confession. The rookie is more confused than ever. But things are about to get very clear.
That looks like a camera. That looks like a camera. That looks like a camera over there in that van.
And here's one right here.
And there's one right there. And there's one right here. Son, you've been pranked.
Luckily, the young deputy is a good sport. He even gets a hug from the Southern Belle with a lot to tell. But most importantly, he learns that when a confession looks too good to be true,
Where is that gun now?
It's in the back of the Jeep.
it just might be a prank.
But he had this.
You're back. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, some of them already knew that it was a joke, but
It had to be, man, because you put a gun, man.
dumbass woman
Yeah.
and blonde too.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah,
I was like, what was she thinking?
It did look legit. I mean, it was almost like something out of Bad Boys, you know. But that's funny.
Oh, he probably pooped in his pants like Al Roker.
Oh yeah, because I thought she was gonna be put under the jail. You got all that. It's like, girl, you done.
And you know
Messed
he wasn't
up.
a Macon police officer,
Don't do
by the
that,
way.
Larry. You're gonna freeze like that.
Oh.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't a Macon police officer because that would have turned real ugly real quick.
Yeah, she would have had 15, 20 bullets in her.
Well, they would have probably manhandled her and beat her up. I swear to God, that's
Yeah.
what they would have done. So it's a good thing that was a
For
good
real.
cop, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. No
Wow.
doubt about that.
Who the
No
hell?
doubt about that.
Yeah, half of those notes would have vanished, he says.
It's
Anyway.
Anyway, this is the third and final hour of the Morning Roast, live from the Nut House in adjacent downtown Macon, Georgia. This is Irv Martinez, along with yours truly, DB Derek Barrett, and Macon Karaoke Ed Einbinder behind the camera, behind the wheels, and still behind the nerve center of that is the Morning Roast set. He's
Wow.
getting it for the cameras, making us look good, sound good, and hopefully smell good. We here, it's 10:09 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. It's 71 degrees outside, cloudy, partly cloudy, with a chance of storm showers.
Yeah, showers.
It's gonna rain. In other words,
Stowers.
yeah, showers. Yeah, thunderstorm showers. And
Anyway, guest says that in California they would have shot her just for the pulling over.
possibly, yeah, in California, she would have gotten probably the chair if she was in Texas.
Oh yeah. Anyway, that
man.
was funny. But again, it goes to show you the difference between the police departments. Once again, if that was a cop who was a bad cop, believe me, she would have gotten.
Oh yeah, she would. Yeah, she would have.
She would have gotten.
She had the book thrown at, not just the whole, but the whole set of encyclopedia on her. Most
Anyway,
definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So, what else is in the news? You got anything?
Oh yeah.
Kind of a slow news day.
Yeah, really slow news day. I had some stuff. It was about some news about the Apple iPhone. I was trying to find it.
No, okay.
Let's see.
By the way, I'll bring this one up while you're bringing that one up.
Okay.
You know that Russian hobo Putin?
Yeah.
Yeah, he shows up with his wife and he announces that they divorced.
Oh man.
Could you imagine Obama coming out with Michelle and saying that he's divorcing
Boy,
her.
that'd be stuff. Man, you would never hear the end of it. It's like all I have to say is I'm so glad Oprah show was off the air, because if it was on TV and that would have happened, man, and Oprah show was still on there, man, you would never, man, brothers would never hit the end of it. Woo!
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the fact that he announces this when the reporters went up to them is pretty different for Putin, or Putin as I call him.
Yeah.
And he does. I said it before. You remember when the girl flashed him? And he had that expression. We showed that story before.
Yes.
And he's always been known to have an eye for the ladies.
Well, yeah.
And I'll read the story. It says, Vladimir Putin has always been known to have an eye for the ladies, but apparently that no longer includes his wife. The Russian president attended a ballet in Moscow on Thursday with Ludmila. Jesus, no wonder he divorced her. What a horrible name.
Ludmila Patina.
No, it's right here.
Oh, Ludmila.
Ludmila. Could you imagine that? You're banging your wife and you're calling out that name? Ludmila.
Ludmila.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, his wife of 30 years, and then the couple strolled in front of the Russian 24 cameras and announced they were splitting. And look at how she writes her name. Ludmila Putina. She even used Putin. Okay. I guess this guy's walking around with a fake name.
Wow, has remained largely out of the public eye during her husband's tenure. Wow.
Yep, and told the TV station that we practically never see each other. Putin has long been linked with the former Olympic rhythmic gymnast Alina Kabayeva. But his wife is calling this a civilized divorce and insisted, we will always be friends.
Always be friends, but give me half your stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know if they have those laws.
Yeah, I'll tell you, boy, them gymnasts, boy, you gotta watch out because they're so flexible and everything, you know. You gotta be careful.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, when they say they're gonna be good friends with each other, isn't that what they said to us?
Yeah.
They were gonna be good friends, but yet they're not good friends.
No, they're not.
Screwing us
around.
Yeah,
they're good friends to your checkbook. That's what it is. Yeah. I guess what the real thing is. I guess the real translation is, yeah, we can be friends, just not with each other.
Wow. GSA says, well, at least Putin's wife didn't keep his balls in a jar.
Yeah.
Putin is our strongest leader on the world stage, and Russia and Eastern Europe as a whole is the last refuge that's away from the power cabal.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking, I was reading. I remember one time when Jennifer Lopez was getting married to what's his name, Mark Anthony.
Yeah.
And she was supposed to do something with I guess go to Russia and visit Vladimir Putin, and Vladimir Putin got upset. I don't know why, but you know, I guess he had a thing for her. But could you imagine if she would have divorced, would have gotten with Vladimir Putin? I mean, people have been calling her J-Lo Putin. J-Lo pudding.
Yeah, it sounds like when you take a crap and you ate a lot of J-Lo pudding. That's what it sounds like. Anyway, Dumpster Baby says, careful what you say about Putin unless you want a half-life.
Hey, I'm not going to Moscow anytime soon. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't know.
Shoot, that's what I was saying.
Oh, Bean says if they were going to be good friends, they would stay together. You're right.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what a marriage is about, good friendship.
Exactly.
They speak from both sides of their mouth.
Yes.
Well, that's the way it's always been in Russia. They always speak from both sides of the mouth.
Yes.
I mean, it was even in the cartoons. You remember? Bullwinkle.
Yeah, Bullwinkle, yes. Boris and Natasha. Yes, Natasha. We will capture homosexual. Oh, Boris, when are we going to find them? Yes, we will find them soon enough.
You never saw them in bed.
No, because they're too busy plotting to rule the world or something, I guess.
Well, the United States is the aggressor in a relationship with Russia. Well, they've always had rivalry issues. So, you know, it goes both ways. And, I don't know.
No, I didn't get the polonium half joke. Is that a real element? I mean,
Anyway, the Soviet Union was the only country brave enough to stand up to Israel. Yeah, you may be right. You may be right on that. Anyway, LOL, what a shame.
yeah, the Soviet Union was. Wow, I didn't know about. Okay, Guest 94 says I was married 25 years and now one messed up friendship. I tell you. Wow.
Well, I don't know.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I guess you got to
moving
reach
on.
out. Yeah, you got to reach out and touch someone. Well, speaking of reaching out and touching someone, here's about some phones. Will ban
the iPhone.
Yeah, will ban on the iPhone 4 U.S. imports cost Apple $1 billion. Wow. The International Trade Commission (ITC), this is from Forbes.com, has ruled that Apple violated Samsung patents and banned Apple imports to the U.S. of its offending products. Will that ban slice Apple's iPhone revenue by $1 billion? Says the good news for Apple is that the ITC ban on imports, which matters since Apple makes the affected products in Asia, covers older versions of the iPhone and iPad. According to a June 4th ITC notice, the ban covers the iPhone 4 and iPad 2 3G sold for use on AT&T, T-Mobile, and 2 regional networks, one in Texas and the other in Alaska.
Did they lose that patent deal with Samsung?
Possibly. Well, I guess they'll talk about it later. This ban does not take effect immediately, and it could be lifted because there's a 60-day review period for the ITC's ruling, during which President Obama could decide to overturn it on public policy grounds, it reports Bloomberg. It says ITC has found that Apple has infringed a patent on the way for phones to transmit data. Apple argued that Samsung should have licensed its patent for this data transmission method because it was an industry standard, but was only willing to give Apple access to that technology on unreasonable terms. It says 2.4% of the iPhone and iPad selling price, according to Bloomberg. It says that stakes are apportioned to two huge Apple product lines. In the fiscal year ending September 2012, the iPhone generated $78.7 billion in sales, and the iPad brought in another $30.9 billion, according to Bloomberg. Wow. It says, according to Morgan Stanley analyst Katie Huberty, the iPhone 4 sells for $450, while the iPhone 5 16 gigabyte version goes for $649. Multiplying those prices by the unit yields $3.3 billion in iPhone 4 revenue, $6.2 billion for the iPhone 4S, and $22.7 billion for the iPhone 5 that quarter. Wow. That assumes applying to this 10% Apple's latest annual iPhone revenue means that Apple could lose a portion of $3.3 billion if the ITC ban went into effect right now. That is really yeah. Now that's bad.
Yeah, well, that's pretty bad. Pretty bad. By the way, for those of you who are speaking on how good Russia is and all that shit, here you are on an American venue speaking your mind. But in Russia, they haul your ass, like I said, to the gulag.
Yeah.
Because there is no real freedom of speech in Russia. That's all bullshit. You have to be part of some communist frickin' system. You got to pay into it, or whatever the hell, they choose you.
Oh, okay.
You know? America's got its faults, believe me, I know. And one of them is that we just provide too much damn freedom.
Well, yeah. Well,
we don't know what to do with all of it.
Yeah, I was asking Mr. Dumpster Baby about this thing, talking about is polonium a real element? Okay, now I understand. Says polonium-210 is what the Russians used to poison a man here in the UK, Alexander Litvinenko. So, okay, he was supposedly a spy, I think. I guess.
Yeah, whatever.
Yes, he was poisoned with a radioactive element that was laced in his tea. Wow, that's a messed up way to go.
And then what happens is, really, what happens is that the Russians have always been two-faced. They've always had that problem. They don't know what the hell they want in their frickin' country. And one minute they're saying we're going to have a democracy. Bullshit. You guys don't even know what democracy is. You've been held hostage by a bunch of tyrants for hundreds of years. Before that, you guys killed your emperor. I mean, that's how crazy you are. And you killed all those little girls that he had, and all the family members.
Anastasia, yeah.
Freaking believable. And yeah, America's had its bullshit,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Guess 33.
But you can't compare the two countries. And you guys have better history than we do. But yet, you can't even get your act together. And you've been around for what, 6,000 years? Then think about that. And still, till this day, you guys haven't figured out how to have true freedom. So screw you, Russian guy, whoever the hell you are. You're lucky that you could...
Guest 33 says, yeah, we already talked about that story about the Navy SEAL who's become a woman. We talked about it in the first hour of the show.
Yeah. And how would you know that democracy poisons people, stupid ass, when you guys don't even know what it is? You have no clue what it is to have a real democracy.
Yeah.
And then you had leaders that died in a week. You know, you guys are switching around, turning your leaders over like underwear. And who do you have now as a leader? A guy that goes around probably sleeping on his wife.
With a gymnast.
Yeah. With a gymnast.
Getting all twisted up. Getting all
right, so we had Clinton.
Out.
But Clinton at least did something. What the hell has Putin have done for your country except be a prideful asshole who goes on a horse with his ugly body. He's showing his chest like he's some big dog. Meanwhile, the guy, look at his face. He's as ugly as shit. You can't even get a good looking leader because they're all either old or just plain ugly. Anyway.
Yes.
Whatever.
The views of Irving Martinez are his and his alone.
Yeah, those are my views. You don't like it? Too bad.
Binder, Vaughn Live TV, The Morning Rose, or the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
Now we got that disclaimer out the way.
No, I'm serious. I mean, even though, you know, you got a few good-looking women there, but a lot of them look like trucks, like something made in Russia.
A truck.
I'm serious. They got like truck-looking asses and truck-looking bodies.
Truck.
Come on, please, give me a break. All right, Russia ain't all that. All right, and you lost half your freaking territory, you bums.
Yeah, Mr. Dumpster Baby, I said, at least in the USA, you'll say you disagree with the president.
Exactly.
You know, it said, what did he say?
Yeah, you go to your country and tell them what I just said.
Tell about you. Go to his.
You'll go to Siberia. You stupid
lie.
ass.
It says, yeah, you can still disagree with the president. It's against the law. What was it? It's against the law. In Russia, it's now illegal to talk shit about the president. So
they're a bunch of backstabbing creeps, as far as I'm concerned. They always cause. This is why the world is so unstable. I'm sorry. I'm gonna blame them first. Sure, I don't care. I know America's got its shit. Don't we talk about that all the time?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, but Russia always plays like they want to be innocent. But meanwhile, they're like some of the people here are making. They smile at you and backstab you behind your back.
Yeah.
That's what they do all the time.
Yeah. I hope you have that picture. Thanks for the story here, by the way. Speaking about having your own shit.
Yeah, I'm the idiot, right?
Your own crap.
But meanwhile, you could say that to me, you stupid ass, but tell that to Putin, you stupid moron.
And you can take that to the bank.
Yeah, take that to the bank.
Shut it up, Jan.
And I'm not that old. I'm only 51.
You can take that. You know you can do that pizza?
But listen, we love having you on, you rusky bastard. But at least you're here. Yeah.
Talking to her.
Keeping about
JCA. I kind of like him. I like that we got a Russian, whatever they call him.
Здравствуйте, JCA.
Welcome,
how you
comrade.
doing? Welcome. And speaking of talking about having your own crap, or lack thereof, town mails dog defecation to pet owners who don't clean up their poop. And Brunette, Spain is sending dog defecation back to pet owners in an official box marked lost property. A team of 20 volunteers walk around the town in search of the dog's owners who failed to pick up their dog's treats or poops.
What a life.
Volunteers will then approach a pet owner under the guise of a casual conversation to get the name of the dog, which is stored in a pet database in the town hall. The volunteers proceed to package the dog excrement and mail it back to the pet owner's home, notes the Telegraph. A total of 147 disgusting deliveries were made in 1 week in February, but it apparently worked. Brunette has seen a 70% drop in the amount of dog defecation on the streets. Yeah, I
Well,
know a lot
guess
of dropping.
what? There's a good job you can export. If they
Exporting crap.
yeah, export it to Russia. What the hell? Pick up dog shit. I bet you get killed in your country if you did that. At least we have the freedom to mail shit to people. Dog shit. Yeah, this is a great country. Think about it. Go try to mail some dog shit in your country, JC. Am I right? You couldn't do it. Because Putin will be in the way. Oh, by the way, Putin does sound like poop, doesn't it? Pooping.
Yeah, Putin.
Yeah.
Speaking of feeling like crap, the San Antonio Spurs stole a game in Miami.
Oh shit!
Going into the first game
of
the NBA
is that what
Finals.
they're saying?
Yeah, they stole good. When the visiting team wins the game, beats the home team, you stole a game from the home team.
They lost the game.
Yeah. Miami lost the game in Miami. Lost the first game of the NBA Finals. Tim Duncan overcame a slow start to finish with 20 points and 14 rebounds. The San Antonio Spurs, that is. Tony Parker banked on a desperation jumper in a broken play with 5.2 seconds left on the clock in the game, and left the Spurs withstood. LeBron James triple-double to beat the Miami Heat 92-88 last night in a thrilling game to 1. San Antonio Spurs now, they lead the series 1-0. Luckily for Game 2, luckily for Miami, Game 2 will also be in Miami. It will be Sunday, June 9th at 8 o'clock p.m. on ABC. And Game 3 will be on Tuesday, June 11th at 9 o'clock p.m. on ABC. This time it's going to be in San Antonio. So Miami has a chance to tie the series up for this series.
Here we go.
It says that says playing for the championship for the first time since sweeping Cleveland Cavaliers in 2007 for their 4th title. The Spurs have improved 5 for 5 in game 1s, hanging around for 3 quarters and then blowing them by the defending champions midway through the 4th. In fact, this is the 7th consecutive playoff game for the San Antonio Spurs, because you realize they swept the Grizzlies earlier a week ago. So I guess this game and the Grizzlies sweeping the Grizzlies 4 games to none, and this 5, and plus winning the last 2 games between, I guess, Oklahoma City Thunder. So they're on a winning streak already. So obviously that rest that they had, being off and not playing for a week, I guess that they had a lot of exercise or something. They didn't sit on their laurels and making hoagie sandwiches or nothing.
Well, here's the thing. When you lose when you're there in your stadium, and the crowd is rooting you on, that's a sign of maybe complacency. Don't you think?
Possibly. This possible. I wouldn't put it past it, but you could be right.
I mean,
you could be right.
I'm just thinking out loud here, but who knows?
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't be complacent. I mean, I hope hopefully LeBron is not running out of gas, because when he first went to Miami, they lost. He should have had another ring. Truth be told, he should be having more than one ring, because that was a joke that one person did on a radio, that a homeless guy, when Miami Heat lost, I think 2 years ago. He basically asked LeBron, the homeless guy said to LeBron, do you happen to have change for $1? And LeBron said, no, I only have 3 quarters. Bam.
Nah.
There you go.
Nah.
Because he only had because there's 4 quarters in
How do you come up with jokes on sports? I mean, the whole thing is that, all right, God.
Well, watching. I guess when you get some time to watch some, watching Sports Center, they come out some good jewels. There's some good ones, some really good ones.
All right, keep going with the stats.
In the stats, also in other sports, in hockey, the Blackhawks surged past the Kings. The LA Kings taking the series to the 3-1 series lead. They beat the Los Angeles Kings 3-2.
Yeah.
It looks like this. The door is about to shut down close on the LA Kings. Game 4 is going to be tomorrow night, June 8th at 8 p.m. on NBC.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to be really tightening up. Somebody did say that the Chicago Blackhawks may take it all the way. I mean, they must be really hungry. They came from 3-1 deficit, their opposing team's favorite, and they came back and beat them in Game 7. And now they're going with a vengeance in Los Angeles against the Los Angeles Kings, who are the defending Stanley Cup champions, by the way. I think they're trying to shut the door in. They're trying to get it done and get it over with. And they won it in Los Angeles, no doubt.
Yeah.
So they maybe Game 5, which is going to be in Chicago,
this is the Braves one.
Yeah.
Are we talking the Braves here?
No, we're talking about hockey.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. So
I'm sorry. I'm thinking the Braves one also.
Yeah. Braves did one also. I'll get into baseball just that, but. So this is Game 4, so they stole one in Chicago. The Blackhawks stole a game in Los Angeles, beating Los Angeles Kings on their own rink 3-2. So they have a chance to actually take it all the way home, take it home in Chicago tomorrow night on Saturday night on NBC Sports. So, but check your local listings to find the NBC affiliate in your area, and you'll be able to see those upcoming games of this coming up. Well, actually, I should say the Eastern Conference. I should say the conference that the Stanley Cup won't be till next. I guess will be till next week. I should say. Correction. So between. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Okay, very good. That's in the sports.
Well, that's it for at least hockey.
Okay.
For baseball,
what else do we have?
Let's see. For baseball, the scoreboard, we have the Detroit Tigers defeating Tampa Bay Rays 5-2. Baltimore beating Houston 3-1. New York Mets Washington game that was postponed due to rain. Boston defeats Texas 6-3. St. Louis Cardinals beat Arizona Diamondbacks 12-8. Philadelphia over Milwaukee 5-1. Minnesota loses to Kansas City 7-3. Ooh, wow! I guess you got it mixed up. The Dodgers beat Atlanta 5-0. New York Yankees beat Seattle 6-1. The Chicago White Sox lose to the Oakland A's 5-4, and San Diego Padres beat Colorado 6-5. Wow, there's a whole lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did have another. There was another story, at least some sports related story. Matter of fact, it's something with my alma mater, University of Georgia. A really good story. I want to be able to get that knock that out the way. It seems like 4 UGA teams. Excuse me. This is about from GeorgiaDogs.com. It says 4 UGA teams cited in APR recognition announcement. It says 4 University of Georgia varsity sports teams have been publicly recognized by the NCAA for outstanding achievement in the annual NCAA Academic Progress Rate Report, APR report. The recognition honors teams that scored in the top 10% of all teams across the country in each sport. 3 of the 4 Bulldog teams scored a perfect 1,000. Women's gymnastics, women's swimming and diving, and men's golf. I'm sorry, Irv, since you don't like golf. The UJ
Keep going, kid.
The UJ men's basketball team scored a 990. It says it's very gratifying to see these teams rewarded for their efforts and achievements in the academic mission of the Athletic Association, said Director of Athletics Greg McGarity, Athletic Director at UJ. The APR provides a real-time look at the team's academic success each semester by tracking the academic progress of each student athlete on scholarship. The APR accounts for eligibility, retention, and graduation and provides a measure of each team's academic performance. The NCAA will release its full APR report on June 11th next week. So
there you have it. And by the way, gymnasts, to me, I have a lot of respect for them. They really have to have, like,
a lot of stamina.
And
they're very agile too.
Yeah. So
I love gymnasts, yes.
Anyway, I'm glad you all agree. We gave this guy a lot of chance, by the way, this this Russian guy who was on here.
Uh-huh.
He's talking about how good his Russian counterparts. And well, stay in your country. What are you leaking out for? What are you coming here for? Even on the internet.
Uh-huh.
What, to spread your communism?
Because he's got a small penis.
Exactly. They got small penis.
Yeah.
And they drink too much vodka. That's all they're known for. Getting drunk. No wonder they're always angry and starting wars. Jeez. Anyway, enough of that guy. He's been banned. Goodbye. He'll come back as a guest. Because they're all sneaky assholes anyway. A bunch of spies.
Wow. Gee.
He'll figure out a way.
I have one more sports-related story. Wow. Cleveland Indians closing pitcher Chris Perez has his wife. Excuse me. It must be a messed up typo. Y'all need to learn. You need some spell check on Yahoo. Chris Perez and his wife has been charged with misdemeanor drug possession in the shipment of just over 1/3 of a pound of marijuana mailed to their home, authorities said.
Wow.
Recently.
That's a lot of weed.
Yeah, a whole lot of weed. Complaints were served on the two on Thursday and will be filed Friday today in municipal court, police in suburban Rocky River said. Perez and his wife, Melanie, were released on personal bond. Police said a message was left with his attorney. The player and the lawyer hasn't responded to the previous request on the comment. A message seeking comment was left with the team. Team officials said earlier that they were watching the situation. Dan Chaplin, the Cleveland defense attorney not connected with the case, compared the charge to a traffic ticket and said a conviction likely would be punished with a fine. Wow.
That's what's going on there. Oh, by the way, we found out recently.
Right.
We're going into a whole other conversation here about Michael Jackson's daughter. Mm-hmm. And they found out that she really wasn't trying to commit suicide, although she left a suicide note. Mm-hmm. She cut her wrist, and she took like a whole pill bottle of ibuprofen, which makes your stomach bleed and all that. So obviously she was trying to rush the blood out of her body.
Right.
But yet they're saying now that she wasn't trying to commit suicide, but trying to get attention.
Yeah, that's not surprising because usually women make suicide attempts just to get attention. They don't really go through it 9 times out of 10. Yeah. But usually men die from suicide attempts because when they want to kill themselves, they really do mean it. So when a guy
it's very sad.
Really depressing. You really need to check. You really do need to check on them, especially if a guy's depressed, because guys are told to hold stuff in, and it usually ends up with him killing himself or just go straight, Batman, bat crap crazy, and just start shooting up a whole school or a theater full of people before aiming the gun at himself. So.
Yeah, well, you think about this for a minute, all right? You had that couple that were positive thinkers. It seems like suicide is on the rise. Yeah. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Or the attempts of it.
Yes, exactly.
And that's pretty scary.
Mm-hmm.
That's
very true. By the way, for those who are into car racing, this is just one more I have right now. There's supposed to be an upcoming race, IndyCar Series race. Not the NASCAR, but the Fat Tire car race, Formula One racing, IndyCar racing. There's a Firestone 550 that's going to be in Fort Worth, Texas. That's going to be playing. That'll be tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. in Fort Worth, Texas on ABC. So
this isn't NASCAR.
No, it's not NASCAR. It's a total other car race, IndyCar series, the Formula One. The cars that they use in Indy 500, the big Fat Tire, one-seater race cars. Yeah, that's going to be tomorrow night, Firestone 550.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's all I have for sports.
All right, very good. Very good. Let's go back to the suicide thing that we were talking about. It seems like there's a lot of kids. The rate of suicide in teen boys between 12 and 16 is very high. That's what Bean said.
Right.
It seems to be that is the case, and a lot of it is coming out of the bullying that's going on in school.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And these young boys, especially, I think the girls fare better.
Mm-hmm.
I think mentally they're able to handle this stuff better. I don't know why, but
first they're able to handle it because they're not getting knocked the hell out by other girls and stuff. Their bullying is more mental and verbal, and usually you're not unless you meet a person born with 2-3 tongues, usually you can go toe to toe with someone verbally.
Yeah.
But it does get out of hand, and especially to me, cyberbullying. Not only you're a coward. First of all, bullies are cowards anyway. But not only you're a coward, you're really really lazy. It's like, I'm going to kick you behind, you nasty bitch. Send. And just it doesn't take that much. I mean, it's no different. I mean, it's easy to talk trash when you're behind a computer when no one can see your face or anything like that.
Well, here's the other thing. I mean, you think about this. Aren't there? I may be wrong, but aren't there more like females on social networking? Aren't they talking more?
Yeah.
I mean, boys aren't on the phone as long.
No, not much. I mean, they usually have phones, to play games, maybe game stuff. But from time to time, you get, some people do text you once in a while.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ellen Macon. Thanks for coming in. Uric Wallace says one can only guess what kind of things this lady has been going through with her mind being raised the way she had been.
Yeah, that's true, and that's what I've been saying. And poor Michael held on for 50 years. I mean, he was being abused, obviously.
Yeah,
and
especially for his wallet. I mean, basically his family was living off of last 30 years.
Yeah, because all those other brothers.
4 of those years posthumously, and now, but you realize, that's the role of the guy in the family. No one's not living off of Janet. That's why she was able to become a billionaire so quickly, because she wasn't required, to be the breadwinner of the family.
No, and Jermaine has always been jealous of Michael. I know it.
Oh, no question.
I know it. That guy is a creep.
I mean, my goodness, he stole his brother's wife and married her. I mean, come on.
Right, and
I believe in recycling. Yeah, I believe in recycling, but not like that. I mean.
Yeah, he's a creep. Anyway, people who really want to kill themselves, this is Dumpster Baby, tend to jump off a bridge or hang themselves. I knew a guy whose marriage failed after his wife cheated on him. They split up, and she went after half of everything the guy owned, despite her never working. He called her around to his house. When she walked in, he shouted, "You made me do this," and then jumped out from his attic with a rope around his neck. Well,
yeah.
Now she gets a full...
the bitch wanted sympathy.
You're
talking about insurance? Yeah.
That didn't help. Now she gets it all. The bitch wanted sympathy is what Dumpster Baby says.
Well, not necessarily, because there are some insurance companies now. You may get something if the person dies, but usually they don't usually count suicide. If the person killed themselves because you drove them that way, you don't get a dime in some cases. Some cases you just don't get a dime. So
Guest says, I don't understand cyberbullying. I just turned off my computer off, and I had enough of people's shit on here. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's the way I do it. When I get bad, evil emails from stuff from folks, trolling me, I just straight delete. I don't even bother reading them anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do feel sorry for Tommy Sotomayor. I mean, we're talking about a lot, but he's been going through a lot of stuff because he really talks about. I mean, you think I'd go off on when doing some dirty stuff,
and I don't even come close to this guy.
Yeah. I mean,
he really speaks it out.
He really speaks out. He doesn't bite his tongue at all, and he's gotten death threats from folks even through the internet. I'm talking about big time cyberbullying. I mean, I mentioned it. I don't even think we actually showed the video because. But I think I didn't want to violate anything. But he had some people who was talking about threatening to kill him and stuff. Talking about, I'm gonna shoot you. It's like, and I'm gonna shoot you and your little girl. I said, come on, that's getting way out of hand. I mean, you basically cussing somebody out, a person that you don't even know personally. You never even met face to face. and it goes.
That Cheerios commercial brought out a lot because what it did is expose the hate that's out here. Just like that JCA guy that was on here from Russia. You got assholes out here trolling and giving their 2 cents that ain't even worth a half a cent.
Right.
You know, I mean, this is the way it is. I mean, whatever. Anyway, Dumpster Baby, she got the house and all the money in his bank, though. That's exactly what she wanted. He gave her exactly what she wanted. She wanted everything. And, you know, to commit suicide,
and
to me, it's a cop-out.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a cop-out, especially if I don't know what ethnicity the guy is, but, you know, usually it's really taboo in the black community, African American community, because if a black person does commit suicide, I mean, unless you euthanize yourself, have serious cancer, it's really a big time cop out because it's really frowned upon. Because the person who commits suicide must be really weak minded because the person never had it worse because there was always the generation before you that had it worse.
Yeah.
And then the person before then whose generation had it worse before you.
Well, and that's what's so horrible about this couple.
In slave ships. You know?
That's what's so horrible about this couple who committed suicide in Brooklyn, my own neighborhood. That they were counselors, counseling on how to think better, and then they go and they commit suicide. I mean, I don't know. Good morning, Too Much.
Yes. Good morning. I'm still trying to find.
Morning, Earl.
Morning, Earl. I was trying to find if we had anything for. Do we have Wordsmith or who?
Yeah.
Who
why don't we go to? Just read it out of the book. The hell with it.
Okay. I'll see if I could. I'll go ahead and find it. If it's not already been picked, I'll go ahead and check it out. I'll just pick a form. Just pick any of the books.
Pick out a word. And by the way, here's a story on the life coach. He says the 2 life coaches who hosted a radio show called Pursuit of Happiness apparently committed suicide together in their Brooklyn apartment. Motivational speaker John Liddick, 48, and his common law psychotherapist wife Lynn Rosen, 46, were found with plastic bags over their head and a tube attached to a canister of helium.
Wow.
2 suicide notes were found. The building manager said he smelled a strong odor coming from the apartment and broke down the door Monday morning after no one answered his repeated knocks. He found the body sitting on a couch holding hands, the canister with an open valve on Rosen's right. He said they also found 2 suicide notes, one apparently written by a man and one by a woman. The man's note, remember the words, "I can't take it anymore. My wife is in too much pain." I was shocked. I'm still in shock. I feel so bad for these people. Well, you know what? I feel bad for them too, but you talk about, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I guess no one's immune to it, but you know what? I just can't imagine people taking their own lives like that. And believe me, I've been through hell in my life. I mean, there's been times when I would just say to God, you know, take me out already.
Yeah.
But whether it's cowardice or just the idea that
it'd be so much better if you just got rid of it.
I didn't give myself life.
Yeah.
Why should I take the opportunity to take it on my own? I didn't give it. I'll let God deal with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not alone. There's a whole lot of people who always had those thoughts about, you know, maybe it'd be better if you just weren't alive. I mean, I thought that too back during my preteen and teenage years, especially when I was getting bullied. And this was during the early '80s, during when they had the Atlanta child murders. And when you were a kid, I mean, you know, the boogeyman don't care about zip codes. I mean, Macon is just 80 miles away from Atlanta. I mean, who knows? He might take a trip out of town or something and want to do a crime spree over there. I mean, it's bad enough I was getting bullied. Then now the worry about some crazy killer trying to snatch me up or my sister. I mean, it's
well, listen, I agree too much. Everyone has weak moments, and that's why you need to speak out, get up, walk out of the house, do something. And you know, a lot of times it's just a moment. Like you said, everyone has weak moments. It's so momentary at times. Now, I have been in depression for weeks on end. Mm-hmm. And so I do kind of understand the horror of waking up every morning and going, oh, God, you know, I got to face another day. I hate my life. I hate myself. And I've been there, believe me. Mm-hmm. But in a sense, that's when you have to say, well, you know, you've got to have some kind of bearing on this.
Right.
And say, no, I need to stop. I need to stop, and I need to consider that this too shall pass, like everything else.
Yes.
You know?
You have to have really like-minded, really loving people in your life to help you persevere through stuff like that. I was just reading what Bean said. It says, my great uncle committed suicide at the age of 80. He called the mortuary and told him to come and get him. He would be in the yard, and he put a .38 to his head.
Wow.
Oh, man, sorry for your loss.
Yeah, that's terrible. I mean, you know, and
it
destroys the family, because the family start to think, oh, am I like that? Am I that weird? Am I gonna, you know, does this run in the family? I mean, you should see. By the way, we had a minister in our church who was very, very, very high profile. Mm-hmm. I mean, he went to Africa. He was helping out during the time with kids with AIDS, and when it was just beginning to be approached in Africa, the Americans going there, and he committed suicide. Mm-hmm. And it was, it just hurt the whole church worldwide. Mm-hmm. This one person took his life, and it hurt so many people. And that's the thing that you have to think about. Mm-hmm. How many people are going to be affected by the actions that you commit? And I guess some of them say, well, I don't give a shit. I'm not going to be around to see it.
That's true. Speaking of someone's life being lost, I I forgot to mention, you know, yesterday we talked about D-Day. Yesterday was 69th anniversary of D-Day. There was also the 45th anniversary of the death of assassination of Bobby Kennedy. He was killed in Los Angeles when he was running for president back in '68, and since LBJ said he wasn't going to run for re-elect for president or run for re-election, and it was up to Bobby Kennedy. He was in the lead, which basically ended up in his assassination, which basically made the way for Nixon to get elected, because the only other person I think that came close was Hubert Humphreys, who was also in the race as well. In a strange sense of things, the death of Kennedy did change a lot, particularly politically speaking, because of Bobby Kennedy's assassination, not only the president but also presidential candidates and their running mates also have Secret Service men protecting them as well, because you don't want to have your president get killed before he or she is elected, you know, or take the oath of office. So because of the death of Robert F. Kennedy, we have presidential candidates also have Secret Service men to guard them as well. We also, I have the wordsmith word of the day, as well as who said it first. I'll go with the word of the day since that's printed up first. Thank you. Many thanks to Megan the Karaoke at Einbinder. The word of the day is curd.
Curd?
Yeah, C-U-R-D, curd. Curd began life as crud, a word which has survived in its own right in the 15th century.
Creeping crud.
Yeah.
Sounds like
we were just talking about that creeping crud yesterday.
Oh, really?
Syphilis.
Oh,
yeah. We were talking about your buddy?
Yeah.
Mr. Marcus?
Yeah, Mr. Hey, I don't know that dude. You just haven't put my face in. That's a whole other story. In the 15th century, it underwent a process known as metathesis, by which the sounds R and U became transposed, producing curd. The derivative of this dating from the 16th century is curdle. The word's ultimate ancestor is not known, although some consider the Gaelic gruth may be related. And who said it? Who said it first? Okay. Who said the phrase first? Poke fun at. Pointing the finger or guiding the conversation into ridicule, The expression first saw daylight in 1837 when Cardinal the Reverend H. Barham published his In Goldsberry Legend series, including the Monstre Balloon. Oh, fie, Mr. Noakes, for shame, Mr. Noakes, to be poking your fun at us plain dealing folks, sir. This isn't a time to be cracking your jokes, and such jesting your malice, but scurvily cloaks. So that is so that's one who said...
The word of the day, curd.
Curd. And
kind of like what you wait in line in Russia to get.
Yeah.
Bunch of curd.
Yeah, and poke fun
Curd
at...
is a word.
Yes.
And herb's a word.
Yes. And
that was my campaign slogan.
And who said it first? Who said poke fun at first was basically the Cardinal, the Reverend H. Barham, in his book, The Monstre Balloon. How about that? You learn something new every day. Oh man! Speaking of which, I have this one story. It's I don't know if we have enough time to go into training out, but I have this story.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
10:56.
But I'll just go ahead and run away with this one before we go into Daily Bread, which no pun intended. But there's a story where Justin Gatlin upsets Usain Bolt in the 100 meters. Usain Bolt, the fastest man in human history, was watching an American sprinter cross the finish line in front of him. Wow! It happened to him yesterday, when the once disgraced Justin Gatlin ran a 9.94 in the 100-meter final at the Rome Diamond League. Bolt, the two-time 100-meter Olympic gold medalist, known for crushing to early leads and then coasting to record times, couldn't catch Gatlin from behind and was reduced to glancing to his right at the line. He later blamed a stumble out of the blocks. He says, "I got the perfect start but stumbled after 5 meters," Bolt told reporters. "It's just one of those things. I guess I need to be strong at the end of the race. I think it just needs some time to get it all back together." Bolt has been dealing with some hamstring issues, which explains him running more than a third of a second off his own world record pace of 9.58 seconds. Wow. But the story of the day, and thus the track season so far, is Gatlin, who has literally raced back from ignominy into the international limelight. So wow, Gatlin, who got to start jumping fire hydrants in Brooklyn, your neck of the woods, Irving, ran to the country's good graces with a gold medal winning at 9.85 at the 2000 Olympics in Athens. His descent, however, was as quick as his rise, as he got an 8-year doping ban from the sport 2 years later when he tested positive for testosterone and other PEDs. His punishment was reduced to 4 years, otherwise he would still be out racing now. And Gatlin tried out for 3 NFL teams during his exile, running a 4.2 in the 40-yard dash, but getting no contract offers, which is lightning fast, getting a 4.2 in a 40-yard dash. And,
wow. Dumpster Baby says Bolt doesn't need to prove anything. The guy's a machine.
Yeah.
And Rush29 says when Bolt broke the record in 2008, one of his shoelaces was untied. That's a fun fact.
Very fun fact. And now it's 9.58. Could you imagine? And this is 100 meters. That's when they actually had to change from yards to meters, because people were getting like 9 seconds in the 100-yard dash, because 100 yards is much shorter than 100 meters. And I mean, could you imagine if you get 9.58 and 9.6 in the 100 meters? Imagine what you would get in in the 100-yard dash. What 8 seconds? 8.5, almost 7.9 seconds. Sheesh.
Well, by the way, the Bean is talking about that story of the suicide. Very good advice. Sometimes just a word of encouragement or a loving hug can go a long way with someone when they are hurting. And you know, it's so funny that you're saying that, Bean, because today's story, or today's Our Daily Bread, is called Guarding Hearts, June 7, 2013, and is written by Randy Kilgore. For years, I have taught adult Bible study classes in the local church and took great pains to consider Scripture carefully before answering questions during the lessons. Later, during the lecture in my first semester of the seminary at age 40, I learned that I'd given a woman who had attended one of my classes a terrible answer to her heartfelt question. I was certain my response had been causing her distress over the 2 years since I had seen her, and I was eager to correct myself for her sake. Racing home, I called her and instantly burst into an apology. A long pause was followed by her saying in a puzzled tone, "I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble placing you right now. I was neither as memorable nor as damaging as I had believed." It was then I realized God is at work guarding His truth even as we grow in our understanding of His Word. I'm thankful He protected this woman's heart. We are human and we will make mistakes sometimes as we share God's Word with others. But we have an obligation to diligently seek His truth and exercise care as we talk about Him. 2 Timothy 2:15. Then we may boldly proclaim Him, praying that His Spirit will guide not only our hearts, but also the hearts of those we seek to serve. God and His Word are deserving of the greatest care. The words I spoke but yesterday are changed as I read your Word. I see more clearly your perfect way, and my heart is deeply stirred. Kilgore. Let God's Word fill your memory and rule your heart and guide your words. And then the Bible reading for today in 2 Timothy 2, 10 through 18. Be diligent to present yourself approved to God, a worker who does not need to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. There you have it.
2 Timothy 2:15.
Very
That's
good.
very
And that
good. Very
works
good.
with what we were talking about today.
That's very good. Yes, talk about that, especially being a friend in need is a friend indeed. Particularly with the UGA sports teams, the gymnastics team, men's golf and men's swimming, doing well in the classroom as well as on the court or field, wherever they are. I mean, that's what basically is all about, because you only have a short time in your sports career. The game of life really is the big game that you need to try to strive for, particularly in academics.
And to close out here, people without encouragement or a sense of being loved are very despondent in life at times. They need to have a friend indeed. Absolutely.
Yes, thank you. You're very welcome, Bean. Thank you for writing that. And also Plastic Canvas, thank you for making your day. We aim to please. Want to say thank you to all our guests on the board. DS Photo Guy, the Bean, Matinee, Uric Wildcat, Plastic Canvas, Hey J31, Joda, West Virginia, WV 81. I guess that's what WV means. Mr. Dumpster Baby Rush 2929, Slow Sparks, Too Much, Wolfcat _ CA. Guess 112, 123, 163, 164, 234, 259, 28, 133, 236, 336, 131, 36, 36, 46, 68, 485, 15, 42, 148, 49, 65, 59, 2, 26, 46, 89, 29, 46. Sold to the guy with a wheelchair.
But thank you all the guests, even those of you.
I got the True Blood Marathon starting tonight.
Oh yes, definitely check out the True Blood Marathon.
7 o'clock in the matinee on Vaughn.
Definitely check that out.
It's coming back, season 6. I got all 5 seasons.
Wow.
Wonderful.
I'm going to start at 7 tonight. It probably won't play all through because we got the show Monday morning.
Right.
Yeah, I understand. But hey, if you got a chance to check it out, definitely check that out.
Matinee.
Also, I went into Impact Wrestling. They had Kurt Angle was the second inductee into the TNA Impact Wrestling's Hall of Fame last night on Spike TV. Congratulations to Kurt Angle. He is one of the gold medal winners who actually got a gold medal in wrestling in the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta. So,
you know. I look like him? A lot of people said I look like him or Goldberg.
Oh, okay.
When I have my head shaved.
Well, that's a good compliment, though. Kurt Angle, yeah. So congratulations to you, Kurt Angle, for making it to the Hall of Fame. Also, don't forget WWE's Friday Night SmackDown is going on tonight on the Sci-Fi Channel, 8 o'clock. And also, don't forget the Tony Awards, which is another form of acting. That's going to be Sunday night at 8 o'clock on CBS. And also the 550 IndyCar race in Fort Worth, Texas on ABC, the Firestone 550. You guys have a wonderful weekend and take care. Until next time, this is DB with Irv and Ed, and telling you, Can you smell what the roast is brewing?
Yeah, baby.
We'll see you Monday.
Thank you, guys.
He says I look like Tank Abba. I just Googled it. That's funny.
By the way, Joe Wilson's a good friend of mine. Thank you for coming on, Joe.
That's all, folks.